Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the FearFans podcast. I'm your host, Don Elmy. With me is Nikki and Joe.
I guess.
And let's see, Kate and Nick will be joining us in a few. And man, we've got a good one for you guys tonight. And this is a movie that I have loved ever since I was a kid. I'm pretty sure I speak for a lot of people when I say that. But tonight we are covering one of Steven Spielberg's greatest movies, and it is Jurassic Park. And there's been debate for since the very beginning as to whether or not this is horror, but it has some horror elements. I mean, there's dinosaurs killing people in it, so I believe it qualifies.
I don't know. I think it was. I think it was. I think it qualifies more into that fantasy category than horror. I
Right. I
get
mean,
that, but I mean, as a kid, these things are too fascinating to watch. I don't know. That'd be a big
Yeah.
debate, I guess.
oh yeah, it's been
Classify it.
there's been there's been arguments for years now on the matter. Like I consider it adventure. It definitely has that element to it. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the biggest part of it. But there are some scenes that can be pretty gruesome. And
I,
also,
I,
hold on. And most recently, I'm surprised it took me until now, but I actually recently finished the book, and I gotta say, it's much more gruesome than the movie. Seriously, like the gore in it has that horror element. Oh, and yes, yes,
so maybe the book is more of a horror than the movie is.
uh, yeah, it's definitely
Well,
got
it's
that to
also
it. I
got
mean,
like I said, it's also got the sci-fi element. I mean, the categorization as a former video store owner is debatable because it kind of fits under a few categories with the adventure, the sci-fi, the kind of fantasy element of it. There's a lot of places that this could be categorized under. But I would have never really considered it a horror movie. That's just my
yeah,
opinion.
well, I mean, Jaws has like so many different categories to it. Lots of people consider it thriller. Lots of people consider it
Yeah,
like adventure, horror.
but
Yeah.
but Jaws is more realistic because those giant kind of sharks do exist when it comes to great whites, and that's the thing people were afraid of. It got people afraid to go swimming in the beaches and the oceans and stuff like that for the longest time.
Yeah.
I was one of them.
Right. I mean, yeah. And this. Oh, here, look, my co-host is finally here. Hey, Nick.
What's up, guys?
Yep, you're here just in time. We're just getting into the whole. Joe like brought up the whole realism that Jaws has that Jurassic Park, like people believe Jurassic Park wouldn't have. But I wanted to bring up this. There's like a controversy, and this does bring up a controversial topic. Jurassic Park. I mean, it brings up a controversial topic of cloning and of DNA. Like they do have done this with
Oh, and
with
look
a
who else
sheep.
just showed
They've
up.
done. Oh,
Pickle
hey Tom.
Tom!
Guest.
About that. Wait a minute. What is
Hey,
this guy doing here?
What guy?
I thought you were supposed to be resting, man.
I was gonna say, how you
yeah.
feeling?
I might be old, but I'm not dead yet. So I'll
Well,
rest when I'm dead.
I'm about to be a little bit older. I'm just saying.
A
Yeah.
little bit
So to
older
the
than me?
audience.
So you're gonna be older than me,
No, I'm
right?
going to be older than me now in a few days.
So I just want to tell the audience, just for context,
Yeah.
we've had Joe recently had a stroke that he's recovering from. So I'm very thankful that he's still here with us.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
And
it's quite a scare.
Joe, yes, and Joe, we wish you the very best on your recovery.
There you go.
And no more of that shit.
It's rough. I can't use my right arm much.
Yeah, is it like numb or like what does it feel
No,
like?
it's just weak. I have no strength in it.
Okay,
I have no strength in my arm or my hand.
okay.
So
Just take it easy on yourself.
at least I can speak and I can swallow. I can
Yeah,
drink
you
my
sound
soda and
fine.
stuff without choking. Like last time, they had to keep me because I couldn't. It was worse. It affected my speech and
No, you
So,
sound
Right.
fine. You sound like your normal self. I mean, that's
I was going to say, as long as you're able
well,
to talk and you
a couple of years ago when I had the first one, it affected my speech.
oh yeah.
Nick. Why are you
Well,
flashing everybody?
well, as long as you're able to speak, you're able to swallow and stuff. I mean, for the
Yeah.
most part, that's what's most important.
So and I've also got a heart monitor that I got to wear for the next couple of weeks, so
Okay.
they can keep an eye on me.
Sure.
And this lady's here too, which is weird because she's
Yeah,
never
good to have you back, Mickey.
Yeah, she barely shows up on here.
She
hiding
actually,
I'll tell you who's never.
she actually messaged me prior before we came on because she wanted to surprise all you guys.
I was surprised.
Because it'd been such a long time since she's been on the show, so I sent her the link separately so she can make her secret entrance onto the show.
Yes. You know who hasn't been on the show for a while?
What's
Oh,
that?
yeah, Nick. You know who hasn't been on the show for a while? Jill.
Yeah, I know she's
Yeah.
been going through a lot, but
Hearing
I will
static.
say this: I know we're a day late, but it was her birthday just yesterday, so happy belated birthday to Jill. Hope you had a
happy
Yes.
great one.
birthday, Joe. Hope you're watching.
Yeah, hope you're
Yep.
watching.
You'll
We
watch
missed you.
later.
Hopefully you come back soon.
Yes.
Does anybody else
Happy
hear
birthday,
static,
Jill.
or is it just me?
Yeah, I'm hearing that too.
Okay, I just want to make sure it's not my computer.
Wait, is that buzz noise or?
No, it's just like a little static.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
what I mean. Static. Yeah, I could hear it too from my end.
It's not me.
No, I just wanted to make sure it wasn't just my computer because it does
Okay.
that sometimes.
Is it? Wait, Nikki?
Sure.
It's probably
Uh,
it's probably
You're on.
me. Hang on.
I muted my mic. It's not coming from me.
Now it stopped.
Yep, that's
It's
Nikki.
Nikki.
Well,
Oh man.
Man, Nikki, you need a new phone.
Or a new computer.
I mean, it's not
No,
terrible or anything like that. I mean, as long as we're
Hey,
able to hear
Braxton.
it.
Glad you joined us.
You know,
Yep.
No,
we
it's
got
not.
to make sure. Just another thing off note and off topic. When Tom's birthday hits, we got to flood him with the over the hill and the 50 emojis.
Right.
That's right.
And so,
50.
right. And so Jurassic Park. This came out in 1993. It was based on the novel by Michael Crichton, and
Sure, I was born.
it became a huge achievement in the world of cinema. Like it was the first film to make $1 billion in the box office,
Wow.
and it was a major, huge success. And this also, of course, led
I
to
loved it.
and and this, of course, led to sequels, video games, tons and tons of merchandise, toys, and also just the other day I was over at my sister's place for my niece's 8th birthday, and my nephew Graham, he has that character Bumpy from the Jurassic World series on Netflix. Yeah, they
Awesome.
marketed to 6-year. Yeah, they market this to 6-year-olds.
Wow.
Well, the toys went on for like a long, like well past the movie.
Yep.
Yeah,
and they
well-
made video games too, didn't they? No, yeah.
Yeah, they
Oh
did.
yeah, they're in video games.
Well, there was video games also based on it because of the whole first time there was a realistic looking dinosaur movie. I mean, they came out with what was that one prehistoric
Yeah.
type movie? It had dinosaurs in it.
Oh, yeah.
That might have
Oh,
came
right.
out after Jurassic Park, which would have caused it to be,
Dolby sound. First
Yep.
movie.
I mean, this movie was. I mean, the special effects in it were great. When I saw the dinosaurs for the first time, like they did, I was in awe of the way they did it.
Yes,
some
that's
video
true, Zero.
clips.
Like when, yeah, that's true, Zero. When Jurassic Park was adapted into video games, most of them were played on the Genesis and the Super Nintendo. I believe my big cousin Mickey had one of those games.
I think I had one for the
asked-
Super Nintendo.
Alright.
He was asking a question
Never
earlier
thought
about my
Yeah,
lights.
what's with your lights going on and off?
It's my Valentine's Day lights. I got up. I got most of them up except for I've been working on decorations for the last 2-3 days. This is going to be my last night because I got almost everything up. But
You know what you
it's
should
it's
do.
just the lights. I was going to say you should know this by
You
now.
you
Yeah, hey,
should get a
hey,
pack
I was
of stickers that are hearts and just wear the sticker on every live feed you're on. And if anybody asks, just say, "Well, I got my heart on." You know, it's
Well, I got you know what?
wow.
I got a heart on right here, right behind me on the wall.
you got a heart on wall.
You know, that's 10 days away. I've got 10
Oh,
days to
and
get my arm working.
Good. Yeah,
yeah,
hopefully,
and
yeah.
even today, you get Jurassic Park games on your phone too. Here,
Oh wow.
Yeah, I was going to say I think they're still making video games
You
to
know,
this day.
Valentine's Day
yep,
is also
Jurassic
my
World the game.
anniversary.
Oh, that's right. You're
Ah.
right, Joe.
It's also
Yep.
7 days after my birthday.
I'll be married to my wife 15
Oh,
years.
and look who also just showed up.
Oh,
What's
Hey.
up,
Hey.
Kate?
What's up?
Oh, look at her cute little hat.
I know, I've got my dinosaur hat
Oh my
on.
God! I
Oh,
didn't even.
see?
I was about to say, what is that? Now I can see that.
Here, when I saw you down in the bottom, I thought you were wearing your Tom's World hat. I'm like, oh, look at this.
Mm. Not quite, yeah. I just stole it from my daughter. Hi, Thomas.
Oh, and also, just real quick, guys. I mean, I was talking to her earlier. Lois might make a brief appearance on the show tonight too. That is, if she's up. That is so. I don't know if
Awesome.
she is or not. But it's a maybe for her. But just for like maybe a minute or two.
See, Nick likes to flash everybody every once in a while we're
Yep.
on camera.
yeah. Hey, so Nick, I've been warning you. Those strobe lights are going to cause somebody to have epileptic seizure or something.
Well, that's why these are actually the dimmer lights, so they're not as bright. So it shouldn't be
I
too
just want to
terrible.
ask, how are you, Joe? We're worried about you.
Yeah, we were asking him earlier.
I'm doing as good as can be expected. I'm just frustrated.
Okay, Joe.
Not having the use of my right arm is not easy.
Oh, you're right-handed.
Okay.
Well, with most of this stuff, I mean, think about it. I'm old school, and I know this isn't a topic that I should, but everybody knows I'm a stoner. But when I go to light my
No.
pipe, it's hard.
Oh, yeah, I could imagine. Well, you know what? You got to hold the pipe with your teeth.
It's a chore.
Yeah.
It really is. But
Or you got to make a little stand.
but to open my soda is also a chore. You know, but I write left-handed, so it didn't take away my writing. You know, I can still write.
I write left-handed and I
Okay.
left right-handed, and I.
But everything else, you know, my mouse is over on my right side. If I was still bowling, I would, you know, that's right-handed, you know, that kind of stuff.
Right.
But I grew up as a left-handed person to write, you know, and, you know.
Because you want to be different.
Yeah, I don't know what that was. it was just, you know, so at least I can still sign the checks for the bills.
There you go.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah. Well, hey, we're hopeful that you're able to recover from this,
Yeah,
Joe.
yeah,
I mean,
very quickly.
Not our support, Joe.
No.
Very quickly. We
Just,
want
again,
you to
I
heal
haven't
quickly.
recovered yet. As soon as this hand comes around, but I'm fighting it because I'm already trying to do the exercises and strengthen it back up.
Okay,
I
good.
was gonna say,
Yeah, I have no strength. That's all it is I got no strength.
Mm.
I was gonna say, Joe. Hopefully, you'll be able to get that back soon, so we can all get to golfing, and so you can get your birdies.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to do that. I'd have to use the
Yeah.
mouse with my right
Yeah, I
hand.
know. I figured you wouldn't
That
be able
might be
to.
a chore.
Yeah.
I'd try it.
Retake it
though.
behind you.
Well, then
I
I would
would try
definitely
it.
win, then, huh?
Yeah, I would try it because just playing would be fun, you know, but
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wouldn't be any good at it.
Well, at least we just recently got one in. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll
I
get
may not
back.
remember it, but we got
Yes.
one in.
Yeah, you were
Yes.
quite drunk.
Me? No. I don't ever
Yeah,
drink. I don't know what you're talking about.
I like your t-shirt, Don.
My T-shirt. Yep,
Oh,
I
I've
came
seen that
prepared.
shirt before.
That's so
Yeah.
cool.
So most recently I read the book, and it became clear to me why Hollywood, like when this came out in 1990, immediately Hollywood wanted to make this into a film, and all the biggest production companies were like trying to get the rights for this film. I'm talking about it's like Warner Brothers, Paramount, Columbia, all the biggest production companies out there. But in the
Joanne?
end, Universal ended up getting the rights, and there was only one person they had in mind to direct it: Steven Spielberg.
I was going to say, I figured it was going to be Steven Spielberg. That was their choice.
Oh yeah, and Steven Spielberg ended up getting paid $250 million from Jurassic Park, and I've never heard of a director getting that much money from a single film. So
I
that
would have
was a
worked on it
huge.
for $1 million. They should have grabbed me. I'd have done it for more. I'd have been,
Well,
Oh,
here's actually a question I got. Since Steven Spielberg also did this movie, I often wonder how he was able to work. Because
hi Joanne.
what's up, Joanne? Good to see you here. I often wonder how, because 1993 was also the year when Steven Spielberg made another movie, which is still controversial in some way, but it still won a lot of awards, and undoubtedly that was Schindler's List. So I often
Yes,
wonder, like,
Schindler's List.
because go ahead.
Yeah, that was definitely one of his. That was definitely one of his most hardest films to watch. It's an amazing
Yeah,
film. Don't get me wrong, Schindler's List. It's
yes.
good, but
it's really
but
long.
really
It's
going
a
over the
great
history.
movie, but it's just horrifying to watch. So
But
I often wonder a lot of times, like, how Steven
how long is
Spielberg
it?
was able to work on both movies,
Well,
Jurassic
yeah,
Park and Schindler's List.
yeah, his schedule was definitely fun, like very full back then. And here's the thing, Nick. I told you that he got paid like so much money for Jurassic Park, but you know how much he made for Schindler's List?
How much?
Zero. He asked not to be paid for it.
Seriously?
Yeah,
Wow.
he asked not to be
Yeah.
paid for Schindler's List because here's the thing, Steven Spielberg, and this is perfectly understandable. So I mean, Steven Spielberg, he's Jewish, and considering how Schindler's List was going into a dark chapter of Hebrew of
You're
like
up, right?
the Jewish culture, and that he didn't want to profit off of that, off of the arguably the darkest time for the Jewish community, and to this day he will not sign
I was going to say,
a
he does
single
not
DVD.
sign anything. See,
Nope.
and I often wonder a lot of times, like when he had to go back and forth between Jurassic Park and Schindler's List. With Jurassic Park, I mean, there's no doubt in my mind that he probably had a lot of fun directing this movie. I mean, I could certainly understand that. But when he worked on Schindler's List, he said that was literally one of the hardest movies, even behind the scenes. It's one of the hardest movies he ever worked on. I mean, he even said there were multiple times that he was crying behind the camera. So like, even you would only think that was, for most films, whether you're trying to scare people or make people sad, that's usually for the view of an audience member. It is rare to have the director themselves, basically the crew themselves, being deeply affected by making this film. So I often wonder how Steven Spielberg was kind of able to kind of keep this weight of composure for both films that he was working on.
It's
Right.
Schindler's List is tough to get through though because it's 3 hours and 15 minutes.
Yeah,
It's a long movie.
it's a long movie too.
I can do that. If I can do the extended version trilogy of Lord of the Rings, I can do that.
Oh, geez. You know what? No, the best Lord of the Rings was the original animated one. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, I have the book to that.
And,
The animated.
I
I
can't
don't know where
watch
it is.
And then when the Hobbit got his own show, then Leonard Nimoy sang the theme song for it,
Yes.
the Bilbo Baggins song.
Yeah, I've got the entire book, all three books in one.
Yeah, that's
Hello.
cool.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say really quickly, I feel like Schindler's List is a must-see for everybody once in their life. Like,
I
it should
saw
be
that movie when I was-
I had to do
compulsory.
it in pieces.
I
Yeah.
actually saw that movie when I was in high school. They showed it. Thankfully,
Oh,
by
good.
then, a lot of us were
Yeah.
like a lot of us by then were like 17, 18, 19 years old. So we were pretty much old enough to see it. So we saw it in our senior year, and I'll be honest with you, that movie. I've learned obviously a lot of stuff about World War II, including the Holocaust. But to me, that was even though while there have been other movies and TV shows focusing on it, Schindler's List really stands out the most. It really is that type of
Because
movie.
it's real. It's a
It's real, but also
documentary.
it's one of those films in which
Well-
you see and you're forever changed.
Recreated documentary, I guess. you
Yeah.
could say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know the cover that you showed on with the girl in the red coat?
Yes.
When the actual woman who that is went to see this film, it triggered her and she wrote her own memoir of what she went through. It's called The Girl in the Red Coat.
Yep.
Huh.
It's an amazing book. You
I'll have to
guys
look
have
at-
to read it.
Yep.
It's incredible.
Yes,
The
definitely.
actress, I don't know if you guys heard, the actress who played that little girl in Schindler's List, she was only about like 3 or 4 years old at the time.
Yeah.
And they said to her that she was not to see this movie until she was at least 18 years old. But
Yeah.
of course, typical of kids, like years later, because curiosity gets the better of them, and she ended up seeing that whole movie, including that part. Those parts were raw by the time she was 11, and she said she was absolutely horrified of what she was seeing, despite that she herself was in that film. But yeah, it was kind of. One thing for sure is 1993 was certainly an interesting year for movies with Steven Spielberg for both these projects.
Right. Oh, and Nick,
Um,
Robert is
the-
saying
the-
that
the
he's paying
movie
your
that
electric
you
bill
was-
to stop the lights.
The movie,
Hey,
the
Robert,
movie
why aren't
that,
you on with us? What the hell?
that Joanne was asking about, apparently it's called The Tattooist of Auschwitz.
Oh yeah.
Oh, no, I haven't.
I've never heard of it, but I looked it up.
I haven't seen it.
I'm
Me neither.
intrigued.
That's
Not-
it.
Yeah. Oh, and also, like, some people were like, I've been wondering for years if Jurassic Park would ever become an actual thing because people like arguing about the possibility of cloning. Like, there actually was like some kind of like experiment people were trying to do, like of trying to bring a woolly mammoth to life by using like a DNA from that, creating an embryo to put it into like an actual an elephant. And I'm just thinking, okay, like say such a thing was possible, like
Yeah.
like it would be unpredictable how a woolly mammoth would be able to adapt to the modern
Well,
world.
they had a
Um,
problem with the sheep cloning one that they did.
Yeah,
too.
like
They
they-
made like
yeah.
it didn't last long or something.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
that
I
was
mean-
the other thing I was going to point out. If you remember that, there's the most notorious of them was Dolly the sheep, and
Yeah.
she only died. She only lived. Now she only lived for about like 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
So that's the other thing too. Trying to clone extinct animals not only would be risky, but who knows how long they're actually going to be. Because you could clone them, they could be born one day, and then the very next day, tomorrow, they're already dead. So
But
we can't even.
it could-
we can't-
You
To
know,
me,
they're
when I
trying to
think-
get that DNA yet for that woolly
Yeah.
mammoth to do that. There was actually a couple of shows where they went out and it was like that time of year, so that the mud was real soft and stuff.
Yeah.
And they
Oh,
found
yes.
the bones from primarily the tusks, so that they could extract the DNA to be able to do more precise with the woolly mammoth thing. I've watched documentaries on that one.
But what they
Look,
did,
you just showed up. You
what
got
they
someone
did in
else.
Jurassic Park.
Let's
Oh,
see.
Robert's here.
What's up, Robert?
Hi, Robert.
What they did in Jurassic Park though could never
Jurassic
happen.
Park.
They're not
Oh
gonna
my
they're not
God.
gonna get DNA from the blood of a mosquito that was in amber.
Amber, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I mean, first off, mosquitoes. Do you realize how tough their little stingers would have had to have been to get through the
Well,
skin
you
of a
realize how
dinosaur?
big they would have been back then too,
Right, the amber would have to be as big as this room.
right?
The way how I kind of see it,
But more on a more realistic basis, though, when you find something like the tusks that
Why,
they were
Robert?
finding, the bones, the woolly mammoth bones that they were finding, they were well preserved because that was like one of those Arctic areas that have been recently thawed out. So it's been under like permafrost ever since. They
Mm,
thought
You tickled my
extinct.
butt.
oh, familiar with. Yeah, I'm sure you do,
Yeah.
Brax. Especially
Yeah.
by the,
We get a bunch of those too.
Especially if you look closer by the swamps or the bayou, those are just filled with mosquitoes.
Oh yeah, we got a bunch of those too, especially in the forest preserve, especially in the forest
Yes, we
preserve
do.
area.
And I was
Yeah, we get 'em-
attacked by
we
a
get 'em here
swarm
pretty
of them.
bad.
No joke. I got attacked by like 100, 200 of them, and time I walked out, it almost looked like I had chicken pox. I had so many bites; it was
My
horrible.
God.
oh my
Even at the
God.
park I work at,
Yeah,
there's a
and
lot
I
of
don't-
standing water. So,
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, no, it was not even near water. I mean, it was just so hot and humid outside that they were just. I mean, it just became like a swarm a cloud of mosquitoes, and it was so bad. I mean, like, you see those videos of people who've been attacked by swarms of bees and bees and other types of insects and animals and stuff. Nope, I've already gone through it, and I do not want to go through that again. So
Right.
I know exactly how you feel, Braxton.
And so, yeah, I wanted to mention one last thing about.
She knocked her camera over. She's trying to position
Okay.
it.
Okay. Well, yeah. There's one more thing I wanted to mention as far as the possibility of having a real life Jurassic Park. Aside from the whole controversial aspects of cloning, there's also the financial issues. I actually researched this, and there are studies that say that to build an actual live Jurassic Park or Jurassic World, whatever we're calling it today, would cost about 23 billion.
Wow.
That's just building it, and
Yeah.
I believe it.
to actually keep it operating would be like be in the tens of billions, like 10 to 15 billion.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, I
Yeah,
think one of the mistakes Jurassic Park made in the film, not
Was having Newman.
not the film, but
Newman.
no, I they if they ever make a real life Jurassic Park,
Oh,
they gotta leave the certain ones out. Like I wouldn't breed the Velociraptors.
Hell no.
no, the
Wow.
Raptors would be
yeah, those will definitely kill you.
yeah.
None of the carnivorous ones. Like
Yeah.
Well, you think about it. The way he was talking, they're pack hunters. They're
Yeah, they work in
like
groups.
it sounded like the way what was his character Grant. The way Grant was making it sound at the beginning of the film, it's like it's just like a pack of wolves. You see one right in front of you. By the time you realize what's going on, you've got one behind you, one on
Yep,
the
there's
side,
like a whole bunch. There's like a path.
and
Yeah,
they take that. He scares that kid shitless. But
that's what a lot of people.
those are probably the most dangerous of all the
Hell no.
dinosaurs on
Yeah,
that
very clever.
island.
And that's
Yep.
the other thing too. What Zero just said, they're very clever. They're also very extremely intelligent.
And
I
fast.
mean, it just goes to
And
show
fast.
that these are
Yeah.
not just like
But
They can run
wild animals.
like fast as cheetahs, apparently. Like, so that's what.
Well, think about it. If they're related to the birds, like Grant said, that they're related to the birds, like the raptors, velociraptors, raptors, birds, the first thing you think of.
Mhm.
We've got some pretty fast birds on the planet right now.
Right. And
we'll just bring them to Nick's house and they'll get all confused because of the flashing lights.
the opening scene of Jurassic Park, just that scene alone, made it perfectly clear that bringing raptors to life is a terrible idea because they're
exactly.
yeah, especially with that the way Muldoon does it. The who worked to like with the Raptors, like it was like basically the game warden of the island,
Right.
and he described them running at cheetah speed, and also was there to like witness one of the workers dying in the beginning, and
Yeah.
that scene
That's what I was going to
was so
say too. Is just knowing
And not to mention the one he called the queen killed two of them right off the bat.
yeah.
That's what I was going to say too. In addition to the group, like them working in groups and their intelligence, seeing how extremely fast they are, it's obvious to show that if you encounter, even just one, you're screwed practically because you're not going to be able to run away from them.
Well,
Yeah,
you definitely got a better chance when surrounded by a pack of wolves than you would a pack of raptors.
Or to make it something Nick understands, you got a better chance if you're surrounded by a pack of iron golems that you've been hitting.
in Minecraft, don't attack them iron golems in Minecraft, Nick. It's a terrible idea.
I'm trying to give them offerings. There's a difference.
They don't want
You
your
don't
offerings.
have to.
They don't
will
want your
protect
offerings.
you.
Just stay away from them if you don't want them to attack you.
You just leave them alone, and they hit the bad guys.
Yeah,
That's their
exactly.
only job.
Yes.
The only bad guys they don't hit are the creepers.
Yeah. So as Muldoon explained in Jurassic Park, they introduced a raptor who he referred to as the big one, who killed all but two of the other raptors. So
the alpha. You call her the alpha.
So yeah, that alpha is the one who killed that worker in the opening scene, and that opening scene just sets the tone of the film. I
Well,
love it.
they
It's
were
like one of my
testing
favorite.
the gates when the cow got delivered.
Yeah,
Yeah.
The other thing too, I just want to point
What's
out
up,
is
Mumbo?
that this was actually this was back to what you were saying about cloning, Don. Was that like when you think about what happens in that movie, and the idea of trying to clone them in real life in some sort, whether you look at it in some way or don't, this is another one of the examples in which you basically have scientists out there that practically are daring to play God when you
pretty
realize
much.
because they're trying to bring things to life, and typical of like a lot of these movies, usually a lot of these experiments and creations usually never go right. It usually goes terribly wrong in the end. And
Yeah,
and as we see in Jurassic Park, that results in a number of big fatalities.
Well,
yeah. That's one of the biggest messages about Jurassic Park is don't never mess with nature
yeah,
because they were selected for extinction. They just let
Yeah.
them stay extinct. Okay,
yeah. You're kind of quoting Jeff Goldblum on that because that's
Yep.
what he was trying to tell them the whole time.
Chaos theory.
Nature always finds a way. They take out the breeding, they take it out so they can't breed. So they're all genetically female. And it's just like Jeff Goldblum says, nature finds a way, and it sure did.
And nature
Yeah,
finds a
he was
way.
right. He was right.
Yeah. I have to say that opening scene as a kid, I used to fast forward that bit until I got to like the main bit. And then
For you, huh?
Yeah, I
it
mean,
was too much.
I will say this: I like the cinematography, like the way it was filmed. Like especially the end
Yeah,
of it,
so
where
good.
the end of it, where Muldoon was holding the worker's arm, but then it just as it slipped through, like the raptor had dragged him away. That's just like symbolizing life slipping through his hand, just like
Yep.
slipping away.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, it's so I like it's never boring from start to finish. You're totally fascinated by everything. And
right.
And even the dinosaurs don't like lawyers.
Yeah.
And quickly, unrelated, it took me forever to realize Robert's name
Yeah,
that he has there. So I have adjusted mine
as Mr. Arnold.
just for Robert.
Yeah. Hey, Braxton, I'm with you right there, Braxton. Yeah, like I always loved scary things ever since I was little.
Oh yeah,
No.
see,
Scary Movie's the best.
I did love it, but it was just scary. Do you know what I mean? Like it just
Well, with
it
what
was
I just
too
explained,
much.
that opening scene is the classic example.
It
Bringing something to
is.
life like that, it's already, you can tell things are about to go immediately wrong with this.
And the section with the goat, that was so good. I used to
Yes.
love watching that. And then can we just talk about the music? John
Yes,
Williams.
Yeah.
the amazing music by that Steven Spielberg always has doing his music, and that's John Williams. He did the music for a
Legend.
long list of things: Jaws, E.T. Oh man, the list
Home
goes on.
Alone,
Wasn't he
Home-
involved in
Harry
Star Wars
Potter,
at one point? Or?
Star Wars,
Star Wars, that was a big
all
one.
the
Yeah.
big names, all the iconic names is
All
John
the-
Williams.
Oh yes, the man is legendary for that. And
Absolutely.
even I love how even to this day, even at his age, he's still doing orchestra. He's still doing performances.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say,
Totally.
he's been doing it now for like over 50 years.
Oh yeah,
He's like the modern day Mozart. Like seriously.
he's the Mozart of cinema. Yes.
Mozart.
Totally.
Mozart. That's why it's
Totally.
Mozart.
And I love how you only need to listen to like 5 seconds and you're like, oh, that's Jurassic Park, or oh, that's Harry Potter. Like,
Yeah,
this
like,
is so good.
he has very very distinctive styles when it comes to
Yeah.
doing all that music. Like his music, he does an amazing job setting tones for scenes.
Yeah.
Like where the scene where they first go on the island and they first see the brachiosauruses. The music he does to that phenomenal, absolutely.
It's, so he uses light motifs for the characters.
Yes.
So it's so iconic because he'll use a particular instrument for that character or a particular melody, or it's just so clever. He's a genius. He really is.
He's phenomenal. Yes. And wow, like, and I just love One of the things that this movie won an Academy Award for was the visual effects. You know, the dinosaurs, the way they brought them to life, and with visual effects and also animatronics, which were created by Stan Winston, who also did the animatronics for Aliens. I think we mentioned that, like when we covered that last time. But oh, hey Heather.
Oh, Heather. Hey, Heather. Good to see you again.
What's up?
Oh my gosh,
Hey,
though.
wasn't here for you. Where were you for Tom's Live last night? Because we were kind of doing a pre-birthday celebration.
She popped in. She popped in, I think.
She did? Okay, I must have missed that then. Never mind.
I was just saying, like, how real were those dinosaurs for 1993?
Yeah, they did an amazing job with the
my
visual effects
goodness.
at the time. Yes,
You
and
know,
those animatronics.
93. I graduated high school in 93. Damn.
well, hey, you know what? I was born in 1993.
Oh my god.
I was a baby.
Well,
Way to make him feel older.
I was 3.
Well, here's actually something. I just looked this up. I had to remind
Oh,
myself. For
God.
whatever reason, I couldn't find it. But now I did. Here's something else that you should know. Now, I mean, like you guys were just talking about like the animatronics that were used for Jurassic Park. Let's also think about one other thing, because I mentioned, we're talking about different things that occurred in 1993.
Yeah.
Well, 1993 was also another year where another famous movie, giant monster movie, was released, at least here in the United States. It was originally released in 92, and that was actually Godzilla and Mothra: The Battle for Earth. I mean,
yeah.
first was 92, but didn't come out to the U.S. until 93. And I had found out
It was
that
27 in 93.
I had found out that
18.
if that particular Godzilla movie really sped it up, it would have actually been the highest grossing film of that year, 1993. But instead, Jurassic Park became the highest grossing, meaning that Godzilla and Mothra: The Battle for Earth became the second highest. So when you look at it real carefully, that there was kind of somewhat of a similarity between both movies when you really look at them with the special.
Well, they had giant lizards.
Well, no, there's still a similarity because they were also released right around the same time of each other.
Oh yeah, I mean the '90s was a big decade for like dinosaurs in culture. You had the dinosaurs TV show, not the mama, yeah.
I was going to say that was another thing too about the '90s was that for whatever reason, and early 2000s too, for part of it, for whatever reason, there was such a big fascination with dinosaurs that decade.
Oh yeah, totally.
Not to mention, you mentioned about the TV show. Let's not forget, and Steven Spielberg worked on the first film.
That's better, Tom.
Let's not forget 1988, and from that point on, you also had the Land Before Time series that began throughout that. Wasn't necessarily released theatrically, except with the exception of the first one. That was huge back in the 90s, and there was also a lot of
time.
There was also a number. I still remember this. There was also a number of documentaries that were being made about dinosaurs that same decade, and I think there was also a television series. It was like a short-lived television series that was broadcast in the early 2000s. I think it was called. It's kind of a forgotten series, actually. Now that I think about it. I think it was called Dinotopia, and then there was that Disney dinosaurs film too.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That was
a big
And then
fascination.
right around the same time, didn't they remake Land of the Lost?
Yep.
Yeah, I think
they made a movie. They made a
Well,
movie with Will Ferrell.
Yeah, I can't stand that asshat.
That's
yeah,
right.
dinosaurs.
Here.
I'm
And by the
sorry,
way, I
can't
am
stand
Steven
Will
Spielberg's esophagus now. So just
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people try to rip off Jurassic Park because of its success. Suddenly just type in bad Jurassic Park
Well,
movies.
while you're actually,
Bad dinosaur movies. Bad
they
Jurassic Park.
included
ripoff.
it in a lot of
John, I
shows
could actually
like Family
throw-
Guy and stuff like that. And
Yeah,
Don, I could actually throw an example of something like not necessarily from a bad film, but you know what? Since I just brought up the anime, the Land Before Time series. So I don't know if any of you guys remember, but in the third film that they made, that one also had that was the first one that had velociraptors in it. And it turns out, not surprisingly, they got the velociraptor idea from Jurassic Park.
I was
because
a
it was
little
just
too old
a
for
few,
Land
it
Before
was just
Time.
like a year, 2 years after Jurassic Park came out. That's where they. So even Land Before Time had taken inspiration from Jurassic Park.
Let's see.
Well, I know
Oh,
what
here.
it is because I had
Here.
kids and they loved that.
Yeah, I never watched it. I couldn't
First one's
do
still
it.
the best.
Yes, there were a lot of like fossils and also skeletons that were discovered
Yep.
during that time. And one of them here, one of them is Sue the T Rex,
Ew.
and we actually have that here in Chicago at the Field Museum. It's the most
Ew.
complete. It's the most complete T Rex skeleton ever discovered.
It's amazing.
Yep. And you know, I just thought of another show that had it didn't focus on
Man, she was fat.
specifically on dinosaurs, but they had an episode on it. Who remembers? And I still love this show even to this day. Who remembers that show, Bill Nye the Science Guy?
I do.
Bill
Yeah, they
Nye
did
the
an episode,
Science Guy.
and he
God.
discovered bones too in that episode, and that too was in the 90s.
I liked Bill Nye until he became more political, and then I just didn't care.
Yeah,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
yeah. Let's see. Oh, here. In case for those who are wondering why the T Rex is called Sue, it was named after the discoverer. Let's see, Susan Hendrickson. That's her name. Let's see. We discovered in South Dakota, and it's been in the Field Museum since 1997. So
Wait, if it was discovered in South Dakota, why is it in
Chicago.
Chicago?
I guess I don't know. I guess Field Museum paid the most for it.
They should
Probably
have
that.
been where they found it.
Science industry. It's a huge building too. They probably didn't have any museum that had the size of what we had, so they were probably looking for a
We
place
got
where they
a
could
big
have the full
museum.
skeleton on
You
display.
know, but just because an item's found here in some other state doesn't mean it's going to be put. It might end up at a different museum.
Yeah, but
That happens all the time because you think about it. Some of these museums are specific. There's like an aviation museum. Like they might have found parts to what's her name's plane that
Yeah.
disappeared. And here it is in this museum somewhere else. They found it in whatever country it was, but here it is in a museum that's actually got Amelia Earhart Museum.
Right.
Because it's based on her, and it was based on her, her plane and the loss. So they got moved to the States in the museum with her name on it.
Mhm.
So that's not surprising that just because, like I said, museum paid more for it probably. I mean, I would have thought the T-Rex might have ended up at the Smithsonian, for example.
Right. Yeah.
I think, Nikki, do you have to leave now?
Yeah, that's what I just saw her chat. Yeah, sorry to interrupt, guys. Unfortunately, I think Nikki's got to leave.
Oh.
So, yeah, Nikki, I just responded back to you.
We've got bushfires.
Yeah, they're getting.
Can you let them know why? Thanks, Nick.
Yeah, the bushfires they've been having. I mean, I understand. Obviously, part of it's the heat, but also, unfortunately, because Nikki and I did have a chat about this a few days ago on the phone, that unfortunately some of them were also started pretty much by some idiots that just didn't know what they were doing.
that's usually what the case is.
Yeah,
Usually, cigarette out the window.
yeah. Unfortunately, in this case, unlike what's currently happening, in California, a lot of these
That was
fires
also started by idiots too, by the way.
Yeah,
I'm sure
actually,
people
no.
were.
I take that back. No, I take that back. I should probably say similar in the case like what's happening in California. A lot of these fires, unfortunately, were man-made. So there's definitely a lot of concern.
Jesus. Yeah. Man.
We've come a
So
long way
hopefully-
since the
hopefully she'll be-
caveman days that we
hopefully
could just
she'll be
create
okay.
fire like that.
Yeah, pretty much. Oh, and here, while we're on the topic of the T-Rex, let's talk about the T-Rex in this movie, which fans have called Rexy. Yeah, like at first it was like obviously this thing is like one of the dinosaur that stands out most from this film, aside from the Raptors. Like I love the visual effects, the animatronic, like the way they did that. It was
Yeah.
like made out of
Incredible.
Yeah, it was made out of foam, rubber, latex skin, and it was controlled by, Yeah, and I believe it was coated with like silicone to make it like water resistant. Even though I'm pretty sure it did get water damage at some points. You know, it was pretty much like the animatronic from Shark from Jaws all over again,
Yeah.
only not as bad.
For as monstrous sized as they made that out in the first movie, was it the second or the third movie when they introduced the bigger one? What was it, the megalodon or whatever?
Oh,
Spinosaurus.
that,
Or
that
yeah,
was
the
later.
bigger one, like, and it like made the T-Rex seem like small.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Ever since I saw Jurassic Park 3 when I was 9, I kept calling that the Spinosaurus. Yeah, I kept calling him Spino.
Oh, the
Yeah.
Spino. See, I got to admit, the Spinosaurus, that was probably actually one of my favorites. And he was on, even though he didn't show up until the third movie, I honestly think he was certainly probably one of the more frightening dinosaurs. Because, again, extreme intelligence, much like the Raptors, like certainly even far more intimidating looking. And also, unlike the fact, like with some of these dinosaurs, this one never dies in the end. It just runs off, which
Yeah.
goes to show that even though he had his defeat at the end of the movie, in a way, it still shows that he remains at large. So it's obvious. And he took down a full grown T Rex.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, but the T Rex in Jurassic Park at the end, it became like the hero saving the group
Yep.
from the Raptors. Like that's like one of my favorite Deus Ex Machina in film history. That's one of the best Deus Ex Machina moments.
But much like the Rocky series of movies,
Yeah, no,
it should have ended with the
You know
third
what?
one.
Hey.
The third one should have been the end of the damn movie.
I,
You know,
I agree with Zero. Like the T Rex was definitely among the most terrifying, the most menacing dinosaurs in
yeah,
the
in that first one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like
absolutely.
how this T Rex made a return in the Jurassic World franchise.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
it's the same
And
T
you,
Rex.
and you could tell it was the same one because it had the 3 marks from the raptor on the throat.
Yeah, the battle scars. Yes.
Mm.
So
But I still think after the third movie, it should have just stopped. You know,
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I don't know about
Because,
that. I like them all, and I don't like
Jurassic World.
sequels.
Mm.
And I can only imagine, because we just mentioned also in this case the Tyrannosaurus. I just can't help but think to myself, geez, I wonder what it must have been like when it first came out in theaters and hearing those roars that it made. Like, can you imagine how loud it
Yeah.
must have been in the theater? Like,
Even though,
for the first time being released, there's
Even
no doubt my
though-
God, it probably like took people by surprise.
even though they don't actually know what the dinosaurs sounded like,
no.
it's only a guess.
It's all speculation. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
there's movie versions, but then there's the actual versions of like where they have like the like the vocal cords or whatever, and they can
Yeah.
kind of simulate it, and it's way
Yeah.
different.
They talk about that at the Film Museum. Like when they at the Sue exhibit, they even have a short film covering how they believe Sue lived, like what she sounded like, and
Mm.
Like her in
That's
particular.
interesting.
and
And you know,
and also
Yeah.
I wanted to mention this one last thing, Nick, about
go
the
on.
T Rex in this movie. I tried looking into where that animatronic is now. Like this animatronic had to be stored somewhere, like very ideal because it was 25 feet high. It weighed about probably 7 tons. And
actually, no.
for something like that,
Stan Winston said it actually was about 18,000 pounds.
yeah, that sounds about right.
Mm.
He said
And
that in an interview before he passed.
Yeah, yes, I looked into it as to where that animatronic is now. Matt Winston, son of Stan Winston, has said that the foam rubber, the foam rubber skin had literally disintegrated over the years, and so all that was left was the mechanical structure underneath. And that actually doesn't surprise me because, that rubber stuff, the rubber deteriorates over time.
It's no different than, honestly, even though these were animatronics in this case, it's really no different. Again, ironically, the same with Toho's Godzilla, monsters, because if you look, especially like a lot of the older films, and you see the appearance of Godzilla changing, that's because a lot of the original costumes, which primarily were made out of rubber, also deteriorated very, very quickly. So even though these weren't guys in costumes in this case for Jurassic Park, they were still dealing with something similar in this case that these giant monster outfits, if you will, they deteriorate, over a few years. So they unfortunately, as much as they try to preserve and fix them up as best they could, sadly, these are just things that they're just not designed to last forever.
They're not.
How many
They're
how many
really
tons did you say, Don?
about 7 tons, I want to say.
No, actually, it's actually more than that because I just
Yeah, I
looked
said
up.
18,000.
I just looked up pounds to tons. 18,000
Yep,
pounds is
that's
9
what I said,
tons.
18,000 pounds.
Yeah,
9 tons.
that's okay.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it was a pretty big
That's a
project.
big girl.
Imagine having to, oh my god, imagine having to transport that thing.
Yeah.
Oh my god, yeah, like the transport and then like put it to like where it needs to be. I mean, like
Mm.
You
also
would need
man,
one of those oversized load trucks
Well,
going
well,
down.
and not only that, I mean, think about it too. Like when they had to
Probably
shoot.
had it in parts though, pieces. So
Well,
Yeah,
yeah.
because they and
Well, here's the other thing. Too. I mean, imagine this too. When they had to start making, they had to shoot certain scenes involving it. Can you imagine, imagine how much the ground must have shook every time it was taking steps? I mean, the ground must have shaken on a regular basis.
Yeah, like
Can
if somebody had a glass of water, it would have just started rippling.
Can we
Well,
talk about that scene? That scene is so good. Watching that as a child
which scene?
terrified me. I wouldn't
Where
even
the water rippled.
be in the car
on
by
the dash.
myself.
Oh
after
yeah,
that.
that was when they were about to get
Yeah.
shaked.
Boom.
is it leading up to the T-Rex getting out of the fence, like that was such a good build up. And
That
also
was so good.
yeah, like you hear the rumbling and then the water shit, like
And they're like running and they're like switching cars and they're like,
Yeah.
which car do we get in and where do we go? And
whoa, wait, hang on.
yeah, except for the
And-
one guy sitting
and
on
then-
the can.
And it's
Newman.
like builds up to it, and then you like Lex is wondering where'd the goat go. Then a leg of the goat falls onto the sunroof, and then it pans to the T-Rex, just downing that goat.
it's
I know,
it was
yeah, just
crazy
like gulping
scene.
it down. Like,
Yeah,
gee.
and
And
those
it
child,
didn't leave any bones behind.
and those child actors, who played
They were
Lex who played Lex and Tim in that. It's like they were actually scared of the T-Rex because of how heavy it was. They were afraid it was actually going to drop down on them.
Yeah.
So the fear that you see in that was genuine.
Yeah.
Well, another thing, this is actually kind of a least known fact about Jurassic Park. I don't know if any of you guys know this. They actually did an episode on this involving Jurassic Park. But when they started filming, and not just those scenes involving the T-Rex, when they started filming other scenes for the movie, they actually had to halt production at one point because right before we get to the Tyrannosaurus, like when that storm starts coming in.
Yes, I read that there actually was a hurricane in real life.
Yeah, there was Typhoon Aniki because they were shooting that part off the coast. It was off one of the areas of Hawaii that they were shooting off of, and they had all production because of Typhoon Aniki, which, funny enough, I actually have right here.
Of course,
Not much of a feature. Actually, I have a documentary on it on Typhoon Aniki. So I haven't even seen this yet, but there's no surprise that they're probably going to briefly talk about Jurassic Park on this. But the most interesting part about this is when you start seeing those early shots of the storm starting to come in to the shore, and you start seeing the waves and surf, it's starting to get dark. That was actually footage from the typhoon itself. Steven Spielberg took a few minutes of his time to actually shoot footage of Typhoon Aniki coming in.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, at least they did get
There's
something out of
genuine
that.
storm footage.
Yeah, at
Plus,
least-
plus the movie turned a Weird Al song too,
yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
which is always an awesome thing.
Yes, Zero brings up a point, like doing the scenes when it's raining. Which also did, like I said, it did cause problems for the animatronic. There were certain parts where the T-Rex animatronic had to be repaired because water kept getting into the electronics of it. So, yeah, that was an issue.
And-
But,
The actors were incredible. Like the child actors, what they went through was incredible. Like they were drenched, they were covered in mud.
yeah,
They had 3 of each.
yeah,
Yeah.
I
And
did
it was,
like.
and it was
Oh,
dark.
that would
out.
have been a fun day as a kid back in my day in the 70s.
Oh, it would have actually.
all drenched
It
and
actually-
covered in mud and
It actually was kind of a fun day, at least for one of those kids, because if you guys didn't know, during around the time that they were filming Jurassic Park, obviously, it was one of the kids' birthdays, so they obviously, they had to take a day off. All the cast and crew got together to celebrate their birthday, which I'm sure that must have been, I can't remember which one it was, but that must have been, especially back in that must have been so much fun to actually have. Because, when you make these movies, unless you're planning on making a direct sequel, a lot of these cast and crew members just go their separate ways and, they don't really, unless they're going to be in another movie together or at least one or two of them, especially back, prior to social media, you're not going to most likely see them again afterwards. So the fact that they actually, celebrate this kid's birthday together like they were a family to him, that must have been very special.
Oh yeah.
And they discussed that. The show I was going to say that they discussed this was, if you guys remember that show Storm Stories from the Weather Channel, they did an episode on Typhoon and Nikki, and they even went as far as interviewing some of the cast members from Jurassic Park on that. So that was quite a special episode that they even went as far as interviewing the cast members.
Wow.
They didn't interview Steven Spielberg though, which is not surprising, but they interviewed, quite a few other cast members.
Dinosaurs are running
wild. And so let's talk about the cast members. So of course we have Sam Neill, who played Dr. Grant, and now that I've read the book, I did notice several differences. Like one of the biggest things about Dr. Grant in this film was like his character development with kids, because in the movie he was depicted as having disdain towards kids, which he demonstrated like in the like where he explained like to the kid who was poking fun at the raptor skeleton. Yeah. Yeah, that one scene. But then through character development throughout the film, during his time with Lex and Tim on Jurassic Park, he warmed up to kids. In the book, he didn't really have issues with kids at all. He really enjoyed how Tim's was knowledgeable with dinosaurs. So
Maybe
I
that
like
was,
to feel like with
but
what he does.
but maybe that was
Dinosaurs.
maybe that was Sam Neill's, actual part of his thing where he didn't like working with kids, maybe, and they put that in, because sometimes they'll do that. Some of the real person is going to come out in their characters that they play.
Right, and one of the differences that in the book, both he and Dr. Sadler were not in a relationship. Like she was already engaged to someone else in the book.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Dr. Sadler was played by Laura Dern, who and I also did some research. And apparently, Laura Dern's mom was in another dinosaur movie that came out at the exact same time as Jurassic Park. This really bad movie called Carnosaur.
Carnosaur? What?
Yes. There. Okay. It's a horror film about a mad scientist played by Laura Dern's mom, who creates genetically engineered dinosaurs and tried to create like world domination, releasing dinosaurs to take over mankind. Yeah, it
was a very poor movie.
Yeah,
one other movie I could think of that ironically Sam Neill was in, I didn't even recognize that he was in this because I know he was a little bit younger. You got it, yeah. Omen. I saw that. I was like, and then I didn't realize. I'm like, wait a minute, that's Dr. Alan Grant. Like, wow, yeah, you got it, John.
Yep, he played Damien when he was out to become president.
Yeah, when he was an adult.
Oh, that's right.
Also, do you know how old Laura Dern was in the movie? Because I remember seeing this as a kid, and I was like,
you can find out right now. Let's see.
Like,
she had been in her 20s. She was 26.
I think she was 23.
23.
Yeah, Laura. I was
26, I think.
Grant.
Was
Sam
she?
Neill was born in 1947, so he was like in his late 40s already.
Yeah, but I like your perception as a kid is like, oh, they're so much older. Like she's
right.
She's in like her.
And they're really old. He must be like 50 or something.
Yeah.
She's
like 26.
But the oldest cast member in this was obviously John. Let's see, was Richard Attenborough, who played John Hammond. Who set up, who founded Jurassic Park. And when Richard Attenborough was read the book for this film, he considered Hammond as like a dark Walt Disney. And I gotta say, he's not that far off.
Welcome to Jurassic Park.
And even the Family Guy version too.
Oh yeah, like there've been Oh,
Hey,
hey,
Jeremy.
Jeremy. How's it going?
Sup, yo?
What's up, Jeremy?
And when they were trying to cast John Hammond like in this film, they considered several people. Like, let's see, Sean Connery, but he said no to that.
Absolutely not.
Nope.
You're
I will
welcome.
not be part of this debauchery.
Can
Oh,
you
no.
imagine if he took over that? That would have been a more interesting role, I think.
Here, let me try.
Welcome to Jurassic Park.
Here, let me try. Dr. Grant, my dear Dr. Sadler, welcome to Jurassic Park.
Na, 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 na,
Maybe-
na, na, na,
maybe-
na.
Maybe they thought he would be like too sexy for the role because he was like James Bond.
Well, no, they didn't reject him though. He did. He rejected them.
Yeah.
He said no to
Oh,
that.
Man, imagine if they
Yeah.
just got John Lithgow for it and just said,
Well,
screw it.
they also considered Clint Eastwood. They've considered
Oh,
Marlon
God,
Brando.
no.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Let's see, Marlon Brando.
What?
Marlon
Welcome to
Brando.
Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've got an offer you can't refuse.
Wait, in order to get Dr. Grant and Dr. Sandler to come to my island, I had to finance.
You gotta start talking
yeah.
like this. You gotta
I-
put something in your
Wait.
mouth.
Oh,
Yeah.
you okay?
Put
So,
a ball of cotton in there.
hey, wait, Tom. This
Wait.
Did I try 3 Raptors or 4?
this is a
In all
perfect
this excitement, I
time.
can't remember
Imagine
myself.
Tom, this is a perfect time. Imagine if Sylvester Stallone.
Oh my.
Welcome to Jurassic Park. You know,
Yeah, but
you know we got some dinosaurs and shit. You know, hey, you know, hey,
In order to get Dr. Grant and Dr. Sandler onto my island, I wanted to finance the dig for another 3 years. Now that's an offer they couldn't refuse.
Jeremy's asking Don. Okay, now do that in Jim Carrey's voice.
oh, you mean that's the Grinch? Yeah,
well, just Jim Carrey.
yeah. That's the Grinch is the only Jim Carrey voice I can do. So,
Wait, you
yeah.
can't do Ace Ventura? All righty then. Like you can't.
Wait, what about Arnold Schwarzenegger? This voice like, come on.
Welcome to
Island.
Jurassic Park. Come on, let's go check out some T Rexes. Come on, they're over here. We're gonna go down here.
Oh my God. Oh man.
Oh wait, one
Oh
more,
my
one
gosh.
more. Wait, one more. Imagine
I
if
know.
Jurassic Park was made later. Tom, I think you'd be good if Rick and Morty were the ones running Jurassic Park.
You know what? I mean, welcome in. You can do whatever the hell you want. I mean, I really don't give a shit. I'm gonna be over here. I'm gonna have my beer and.
Oh wait, they did do that.
These Rick was supposed to
Anatomy
go.
Park.
Huh?
What?
Anatomy Park. Remember?
Oh yeah, that's right. I was gonna say.
whatever. I mean,
I was gonna say, oh geez, Rick, where are we supposed to go from this point on?
you know, I mean, you can all go wherever the hell you want. I mean, I don't care if you get killed by the dinosaurs. Look, I made them. They're there. You want to see them? You go right ahead.
Oh my God, that's perfect.
Oh, that's so funny.
Oh, I think Jeremy wants you to read this and as Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Welcome to Jurassic Park. I'll be back while you get mauled. Come on.
I mean, he would just be like, I don't know, with 2 raptors in his hands, just like working out.
Yeah.
That's
Keep
what he would
looking
be
up the
doing.
T-Rex. Put
Oh,
the
yeah.
Newman down.
And so, yeah, Dr. Malcolm was, of course, played by Jeff Goldblum. This is one of his biggest roles.
Oh,
Yep.
Legend.
Legend. We've covered one of his movies
But
before.
wait. Back, didn't anybody ever think of this? Back when you first saw Hammond in that white suit and that hat, didn't you all just like kind of crave KFC?
Yeah, I was
little
about to
bit,
say
a little
that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
KFC
he did have that kind of
I did,
that kind of look.
yeah,
To
yeah.
quote Robert De Niro, a little bit.
And he would say, "Look at all those chickens."
Look at all
Look at
those
that.
chickens. You know, I totally unrelated, but related to what Kate just said. So today I was going around in the park and there were a huge flock of Canadian geese. I
Wow.
totally wanted to stop. I was so busy I couldn't, but I totally wanted to
Aw.
stop and just do a video and hold my camera and go,
You
look
should
at
have
all
done it.
those
Oh,
chickens.
really?
Oh,
You
God.
should have done
Bob.
it
I see that every day in the summertime.
next time.
I hear
Uh,
them noisy.
good
I
night,
hear them
Jeremy.
noisy
He's heading to bed.
Oh, hey, have a good night, Jeremy.
every
Good
day.
night, Jeremy.
I see
Next
every
time,
day in the
Gadget.
summer.
Next time.
We have we have a bunch of geese out here,
Oh, we have them here all year
and
long.
every now and then you will see some of the sandhill cranes that'll be out here.
Oh,
We got the Canadian geese all year long, like
Oh,
that.
yeah,
You
we
can just
do.
hear them
We got
everywhere. And then when they fly by, you can actually hear their
That's
wings
fine.
when they
That's
fly
kinda like
by. Like,
something else, but I'm
Yep,
not going.
you can,
right.
especially when they're coming in to hit the water that's close
Yep.
by.
I was gonna say, Tom, that sounded like something else, but I am not going down there.
Yeah. So here we got.
Anyway,
Yeah. So we've got Lex is played by Adriana Richards. We've covered one of her movies before, Tremors, where she played Mindy, and that was 3 years before this. Yeah, the girl on the pogo stick.
Tremors is a great movie.
Oh, I
Yeah,
love it.
That's
was.
the movie. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, she was
That
great
was
in
a good
that.
one too.
what
Oh, yeah.
about Wayne Knight?
Wayne Knight. Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
she
I was
played.
gonna say. I
What's the
gotta
magic
say
word?
this. He was doing this around that same time. Hello, Newman.
Hello.
Yes,
Newman.
he's known for this film. He's been in Seinfeld. I mean, those are some of the major works at that time for him.
The computer guy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
Yeah,
guy who
He
ended up.
like
also,
he did a
was
voice in
also
Toy
in-
Story too. I
he
think.
was also
yeah.
Yes,
in
he did.
He's
Dirty
done
Dancing.
so much. You know, they're actually. I wish I could show this to you. I can't find it for some reason, but there was actually a clip that had like a crossover with Seinfeld in Jurassic Park. It was a clip like where George Costanza, I think, was about to give money to like Newman. He's like, Shouldn't you be at work right now? He's like, I called in sick. I don't work in the rain. He's like,
Yeah.
well, I mean, he's like, no, actually, no, let me take that back. He's like, shouldn't you be at work? Work? It's raining. He's like, so I called in sick. I don't
What
work in
about
the rain.
that?
You're a postman. You know, you were supposed to work. It's the first one. And then after that, he goes like, I just don't work in
The
the rain.
rain
And then
or sleet or
this
snow.
cut out where they show the part where he gets attacked by the Dilophosaurus.
Yes.
And I love just like the way how they put the captions to it. He's like, he doesn't work in the rain because Newman doesn't work in the rain because he had a bad experience.
I love it. Love it.
Yeah, well,
And so, Wayne Knight's like I should say the Dilophosaurus. There's been debate on that. So, like as about its depiction in this film. It's depicted to be shorter than what Dilophosaurus was supposed to be. Like in the book, like the Dilophosaurus was depicted to be 12 feet tall. And there's also speculation as to whether or not it could actually spit. It was able to spit venom, or even have a frill, like shown in the movie. Yeah, like the big thing about Dilophosaurus in the film was that like it could spit paralyzing venom. That's what made it get Nedry. But the way he was killed in the book was far more graphic.
Oh, I'm
Yes,
sure.
it did spit venom in his eyes. Yes, that blinded him. And then the Dilophosaurus swiped its claw, and his stomach and Nedry's stomach tore open, intestines spilling out, and then which brought him down onto the ground, and then right at the foot of the Dilophosaurus. Then Dilophosaurus opens his mouth, grabs him by the head. His head is in the mouth, and here I think I could. In the book it said like he was just waiting for this to end, and yeah. Like Nedry's final thoughts was just hoping that he would be dying quickly. Like seriously, this novel is far more graphic than the movie.
Oh my god.
Oh, I'm sure.
it's like right after Newman gets eaten, you just
You had to put
playing.
that in.
It
What
was like a little
that?
Seinfeld segue.
That was
music.
Seinfeld.
Wow.
Come over here.
Yes, and so let's
Robert,
see.
I gotta show this picture that Robert showed in the chat. Don, you're gonna like this. Oh, this talk about the Dilophosaurus. Check out what Robert had said. I don't know if you guys can see that.
I
You
didn't
guys
see
see it?
anything.
Don't see it. It's because of your lighting.
Loosened up on me.
Here,
Hey.
hold on. I'll have to share screen it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's see.
It's like you want to see that dinosaur coming down and just coming down on that porta potty, and then all of a sudden,
Oh my god. Oh wow.
Yeah, that's the other thing too. I remember that clip too. Like right at the end, before the Dilophosaurus attacks them, they like put it to like a Seinfeld.
But
So
didn't they depict those dinosaurs as another pack hunter as well?
yeah, it was. Okay, so this is what I'm trying. This is what I was trying to share. Hopefully, Don, if you can.
And then we have to talk about the raptor scene
Yes.
with
Yeah,
the kids,
I'd like to get to that too.
because that's
Oh, yes.
so good, so iconic.
Wait, where the hell is? Oh wait, sorry. Internet's stalling a little bit.
And
In the
yeah, like
kitchen.
that's relevant to the other actor I wanted to bring up, Joseph Mazzello, who played Tim in this.
Mm,
But, yes, and there was so that scene where they're brought back to the visitor center, like they're enjoying like a nice buffet full of like Jello and ice cream, and
mm.
they're forced to return to they're retreating to the kitchen when they hear raptors. You know, oh here,
Yeah, I got it. I'm ready. I'm ready. You got to see this.
I just
Oh my
saw
gosh.
oh my god, wow.
Go to
It
rock.
must have the wind. Yeah,
What's that?
it must be the wind.
Yeah, it might be, but either way, it has kind of a funny resemblance.
Anyway, the part about
Anyways.
the raptors.
Back to the Raptors. So the thing was like a cat and mouse scene, like one of the best cat and mouse scenes ever. Like
Yeah.
Lex and Tim are trying to like outsmart the Raptors by like moving like down the aisles of like inside the kitchen. Well, and then the situation gets more dire when there's not one but two Raptors in the kitchen
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, but
And
the
then-
kids proved that they were so much smarter.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
I love how they just were just like searching them in like grid style, like moving down one
Yeah.
row, and then the next row, and then the next row.
And then they jumped on the
Yeah,
counters.
and also Joseph Marzello, who played Tim, yeah, like he ended up doing something that costed him. He was freaked out by one of the raptors at one point that he like out of instinct like tossed water on the raptor and it ended up damaging the animatronic. And
Oh,
so as a result, a quarter of his paycheck went to repairing it.
No.
Oh God, no!
Yeah.
That's a
the
bit
worst.
mean. Like
Yeah,
he was
really.
obviously scared.
You
Yeah,
know,
well, those animatronics, they're not a simple fix.
yeah.
Mm,
You know, the other thing too that's got to be brought up when you just said, Don, is when you said, I don't know what it is. Like when you see the first raptor come in, I mean, I just like that idea how you're under the assumption at first there's only one. That is until the second one comes in, and
There's
it's
never
like
just one.
it's a true example of double trouble right there.
mm,
They're
The fact
about-
that they're not even when the fact where the second one comes in and the first one is not, acting territorial or fighting, the fact there's another one there. It's like they're willing to work together to find their prey. And again, like what you just said, Joe,
Yeah.
show how much just goes to show how much intelligence they have. That
Oh yeah, I mean,
jumping up on the tables too. It's like that sign of you can't hide from us.
Pretty much.
yeah, but the kids proved though again. The kids proved they were much smarter. I mean, look, the one ducked into the one side and was using her reflection to kind of distract them.
That was
I mean,
brilliant.
that was like a brilliant thing to do.
yeah.
They're like scary
With all
Terry.
that stainless steel, that's like mirrors.
Yep.
run, but you can't hide, bitch.
that's scary.
Prepare for
Terry.
trouble and make it double.
Oh, jeez, he sure uses the word bitch a lot.
Let's see.
Oh,
Yeah. There was also, even though it was a bit part, he plays a significant role throughout Jurassic World. This is a character that's brought back in the Jurassic World trilogy, and that's Dr. Wu. He was a geneticist who will work with like developing the dinosaurs. Yeah, Doctor
Yeah.
Wu. He's featured in just that one scene, but yeah, he's played by BD Wong, who I've seen in all sorts of things. Like the first time I ever see, well, it was like a voice performance where he played Shang in the Disney film Mulan.
His first name is BD.
Oh.
It's BD. It's their initials.
Oh.
I never looked up his.
I'm thinking like the whole name spelled out, and I'm thinking, man, that's what Twiggy used to say in Buck Rogers. Beady, beady, beady.
No.
Like,
Yeah,
you
so
guys are too young to remember that show.
You know,
though.
it had an all-star cast if you think about
did.
it. 'Cause Samuel L. Jackson was in there even.
Yes.
I was about to say we haven't even brought up Samuel L. Jackson.
I was getting to him. Yeah, like
all
Samuel L.
these
Jackson-
mother dinosaurs on this mother.
And you know,
Yeah,
if I'm not mistaken, he did this right around the same time he did another movie.
Pulp Fiction.
Pulp Fiction. Yep, that's
Yes,
correct.
I loved him in Pulp Fiction.
I love him in almost everything he's done.
No way,
Oh, yeah,
actually,
he's
that
great in
movie
everything.
he did was what? When was Jurassic Park? 92?
93.
93.
3?
Yeah.
So that
Pulp
was
Fiction was
one-
probably 94, 95.
So that was 4 years after he did that
Yeah.
movie. Then,
Pulp Fiction.
but he
was
looked,
the-
he
Pulp
looked
Fiction
just
was
young.
the,
I mean,
Pulp
Yeah.
Fiction was
He was-
the following year.
That
94.
is a tasty burger.
Yeah,
he
Pulp Fiction
also
was the
did
next
that
year.
Movie, it was 4 years prior. He did that movie, Do the Right Thing.
Right.
You know,
And,
surprised
let's
I
see.
still have not seen Pulp Fiction. Speaking of which,
What? No, you have to watch it
What?
multiple times. no, seriously, you do
I
because
never
got it.
watched it either.
I've got it.
because the whole movie is like out of sequence. Like the beginning is the end is the beginning, the middle is over here, and this. So
Yeah.
you
It's
have
very
to watch it.
clever.
You
It's
have
good.
to watch it
No, you said
completely
you have-
once, and then watch it again, and then you can put it all together,
Right.
and then it makes more
No.
sense.
well, wait. Before I get to Joe, you said you haven't seen it either.
I haven't seen the Pulp Fiction, no.
Oh my god, you guys got to watch it twice.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
telling
really
you.
good.
Yes.
See,
That's
I
like
remember,
the Sixth
I
Sense.
remember
You can't just
discovering
watch
that
the
movie
Sixth
when I was-
Sense once. You have to watch
I
it
remember
twice.
discovering it like when I was younger, but of course, obviously, my parents said I couldn't watch it back then because I was too young to watch it. But I just never had that
You're
opportunity.
still too young to watch it.
And,
I'm sorry, that was beyond my control.
Yeah. So that's what Robert was mentioning about Samuel L. Jackson's arm. Yeah, like that was used for a jump scare where
Yeah.
Dr.
Oh,
Skyler was going down
Where
to
he's like,
restore the power. Yeah,
Forgot about
to restore the power, and she encountered a raptor down there. And when she backed towards a wall, like out of the darkness came an arm, which was Samuel L. Jackson's arm. She was like, "Oh, Mr. Arnold." Then she moves forward to turn to see look behind him, only to discover it was a severed arm.
Yep.
Motherfucker.
terrifying.
Oh yeah, it's the same thing happens in
How
the book.
How many times is he going to get his arms cut off?
Yeah, that has happened quite a couple
At least,
times.
hey, at least it wasn't his arm that got torn off in Deep Blue Sea.
I was going to say, the fact
It was
that-
just
hey, let's be honest here. The fact that he's always had his arm torn off at least a few times pretty much tells me that getting his arm torn off isn't even the worst thing that he's gone through so far with these movies.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
Check
Can you imagine Sean Bean?
I mean, Samuel L. Jackson. I mean, no,
Head again.
hey, he played a character who lost depth perception in the MCU.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And let's see. Oh, and also one last thing about Samuel L. Jackson in this movie. I'm always wondering how many packs of cigarettes does he go through in a day? Because he smokes a lot in this movie.
Man, I smoke a lot of cigarettes.
Yeah, he smoked a lot, unfortunately.
Yeah. I mean, hey, I don't judge people who smoke. I'm just saying I don't do it.
Yep.
Yeah, they didn't really know back
Absolutely.
then, though, did they? They just thought,
That was
people-
still just-
people have known-
that was
people have
just
known for a
an
long
era where
time.
lot of people- I was gonna say, that
Yeah,
was still,
even
even then, that was
93.
still just an era where a lot of people smoked cigarettes. Like, it
I-
was just part of life.
I don't think they really knew about secondhand smoke. Like, they probably knew that it
It's
wasn't
been-
good for you, but secondhand.
The theory, well, not the theory, but the idea behind secondhand smoke has been around a lot longer than like see social media tends to blow things up and it makes you feel like, oh, that's when it started. No, like there was a big thing about secondhand smoke even back when I was in my teens.
Oh,
Like I
okay.
started smoking when I was probably about 13, 14 years old.
Oh,
Oh,
Wow.
And I'm about to be 50.
And that Surgeon General warning on the side has been
yeah. I
there
was going to say the
forever,
general.
It's been there most of the time I've been smoking. Yeah,
forever
it's right.
because
General.
I started when I was like 12 years old or something like that, and that was in the 70s.
Yeah.
man.
Well, what's funny is that the general warning that
We lost Kate.
is labeled on the boxes. I mean, for many years, obviously they used to not have it. It wasn't until 1965 when they finally started putting the warning label down. And
Yeah.
from 1965 to now, it's been. I mean, since
Well-
1965, it's been like that ever since.
But the label has changed over the years. At one point,
yeah,
it
has changed.
was more geared towards pregnant women in the beginning.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, the label has changed, but either way, even though it's changed,
always
it's still
been a
basically kind of
Surgeon
the same
General
warning
warning.
label, but it's been like that since 65.
The Sturgeon General.
Yeah.
Sturgeon check. Wow.
But a lot's changed over then too, because back
Yep.
then, over the years, tobacco and cigarettes have gotten more addictive.
Yeah, they have.
And the generics aren't so generic anymore because
Nope.
they're, if you look closely, some of those generics are made by the same people that make Marlboros, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And what was I going to say before? Oh, yeah, the actor B.D. Wong. Last thing I wanted to say about him is that I've seen him mainly in like TV shows. Like he's been in, let's see, Law and Order, Oz, Mr. Robot. Oh, and also he was in that Netflix. Yeah, he was also in that Netflix horror film, Bird Box, the one with Sandra Bullock.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I've
It's
never
good
seen
film.
it, but I've heard of it though.
It's good. Oh, Nick, where have you been? Watch
What?
it. You'll love
I'm
it.
sorry.
Okay.
It's a great one.
Okay, there's also sorts of things you need to see, Nick. You need to see the rest of Stranger Things. You need to see Bird Box. You need to see Pulp Fiction.
Robert just put a picture up of the Sturgeon General.
There is one other movie I need to see, and I'm going to do this.
Display it. I don't know why.
There is one other movie that I should see, and I'm going to do this on Tom's behalf.
Oh wait, now I can.
The movie I should see on Tom's behalf
On
is
my behalf.
Hey, you know what? I still haven't even seen Rocky, I mean, so I gotta watch that,
Whoa.
Whoa,
What?
wait a minute. You've never seen Rocky?
General.
Listen, you have to watch Rocky 1, 2, and 3. Now, I
Yeah.
will tell you that Rocky 1 and 2 are pretty much the same movie.
Yeah.
It's just Rocky loses in one and he wins in the other. But number 3, he fights Mr. T.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
And then
And
you
that's
got Hulk
where the series.
Hulk Hogan was also in there, and that's also
Yes.
where Eye of the Tiger came out.
Yes. And the third one was where the movies were supposed to end. There was supposed to be a 3-movie deal, but they were making so much money off of it that they decided to continue.
Yeah.
Well, Sly kept
And
writing.
they did
them.
Ivan Drago in the fourth one.
Because Sly kept writing, and he kept doing that thing for the same thing happened to Rambo.
Yeah.
It
I
was
hated the fifth
supposed
one.
to end after
I haven't
three,
seen Rambo.
and
Hey, I haven't seen
Rambo's-
Rambo either.
He's been making so much
So
money
many
off
80s
Rambo.
movies to watch.
So
Yes, I
Sly,
do.
Sly sat there and wrote all those movies and sitting there making a bundle off of them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they
You know,
were.
and then Rocky turned into Creed.
Yeah.
Yeah, now
the new
see,
series.
actually
like Creed.
before it became Creed, before it became Rocky Balboa, I stopped. I couldn't anymore. And then I was just hearing things, and then I heard that like in the Creed series, then all of a sudden Rocky got cancer and he died. I'm like, no, no,
No.
Well,
that's not the way it ends.
I mean, to be fair, it was a pretty good idea having having Rocky become like a mentor towards like a
He
whole new-
became Mickey, basically.
Yeah.
full circle. I mean, and also when he started doing that, he became the same age that as Mickey, as the
eat lightning and crap thunder.
Yep.
Yeah, but I like Burgess Meredith as Mickey.
Oh my god!
That
Yeah,
was-
I mean,
you
come
could-
on, the penguin as Rocky's trainer.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, he became. I mean, he became Burgess Meredith. He was Burgess Meredith's age at the time when the Creed franchise started. So yeah, it became full circle.
And I could go around and I can make a whole filming location video from Rocky 1, 2, and 3 right here in Philadelphia.
You should do
I'm
it.
just going to say that. I'm just going to say
Well, some of them are in bad neighborhoods, and I don't want to go in there.
Does that include Dinosaur Lake?
No, but it does include Kensington or the Kensington area
The,
because
the
that's in the Kensington area. That's where Mickey's gym was.
But that's Kensington, PA,
Yes,
not
that's
London.
yeah, not the
yeah,
glamorous London part.
and right across from Mickey's gym was also the pet shop that
And it's
that
gone.
Talia
yeah,
Shire.
that Telly Shire's character worked at.
It's gone. That building, like it used to be part of a series, like a row of series of buildings. Now there's a gap right where that was because something happened with that building. I don't remember if there was a fire or something, but they
Oh,
had to get rid of it. So
damn.
now that's just an empty space.
Mm.
Sadly.
Well, you know what
Well.
this means? The fact that there's all these movies you guys want to watch. Hey, you know what? For Tom, me and the Rocky movies. I mean, I got to do what I got to do. You know?
Hey, you know what? Sometimes
I
you
have
got
to
it.
do it.
What are you gonna
Yeah,
do?
you gotta get. Hey, you know what you also gotta do, Nick? You gotta get caught up on Stranger Things because they just announced when the final season's coming out, and I want to cover the rest of the show before that.
You know, there is.
Well, I've watched. I will tell you, I've
one
watched
more
every
movie.
season up till now.
Me too.
There is
Yeah.
one more movie I
Yes.
still haven't seen yet, which this will also shock Tom too. Is again also Sylvester Stallone. I still haven't even seen Rambo.
You need to.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
And you got to see the movie called
At
Over the
least
Top.
see the first one.
You got to see the movie called Over the Top where he does arm wrestling and stuff like
Right.
that. Okay, there's
I
so
just-
many Stallone
And I
movies.
think that was with his real son. His real life son was in
Oh,
that.
really?
No, his real
Well,
life
he
son
was
was in
also
Rocky.
in the Rocky movie, the later Rocky movies, also with his dad.
Hey, wait, quick question. What about you said the fourth one was? What about Rocky 5?
Rocky 5, I hated it.
Was that the one with
Sylvester
Tommy
Stallone
Gunn?
was in it?
Yes, it's
There
because
is no Rocky 5.
they made
You
Rocky,
You know,
like,
Tommy Gunn
become
is
famous.
directly related to John Wayne. I'm just saying.
What was that, Don?
They basically had like this subplot where Rocky lost all of his money because of an incompetent accountant and was back to back to square one, just living in the suburbs of, just living in the slums of Philly. And I'm just thinking, come on, we don't want to see Rocky on a downfall. We want to see him triumph.
And full circle,
Hang on,
there was a dude in that movie that says, "You can't hit me. I'll sue. I'll sue." He was actually in Seinfeld, and we're back to Newman, and then we're back to Jurassic Park.
Guys, I'll be back in just. I gotta run upstairs quickly.
Okay, and by
Okay.
quickly, he means like we'll be back in 10
We're
minutes.
waiting to see if we're doing it
Half an hour.
quickly.
I just wanted to talk about Thomas's comment where he says Jurassic Park arcade game.
Oh, I remember.
The arcade game is so good. And I also had the game on the Sega Mega Drive portable. And I love that. And they had it on the Sega Mega Drive. I love the Jurassic Park
I don't
games.
remember Sega Mega Drive.
I love it. Yes.
Was that the one with
Oh,
shotguns?
so good.
Yeah. Let's see. There was
The arcade one, yeah.
yeah, like
yeah,
there was.
okay.
And so
Sorry.
yeah, like there were like ever since Jurassic Park games, like there've been bigger. There were all sorts of big hits with dinosaur games. There was Dino Crisis, which was made by Capcom.
Oh, yeah. Dino Crisis was epic.
Let's
Yeah.
see. I could actually play it on my PS5. You could actually stream that game.
Yeah.
Let's see. There's Turok, the dinosaur hunter. Turok.
Oh, I
Do you
heard of that one.
remember? Do you remember PS1? There was a demo, and you could do the 3D Tyrannosaurus Rex. Did you ever have the demo? And you could
I don't think so.
be a T Rex. Oh,
Don't
that
believe
was
so.
really cool.
Yeah, but it sounded like something I would have loved as a kid. Yeah, but
Yeah.
let's see. Yeah, like I mentioned Dilophosaurus before, that they were supposed to be 12 feet tall according to the book. They actually did make a bigger Dilophosaurus than in the movie in the Turok 2008 reboot. That one that had what was his name? Ron Perlman doing a voice.
I like Ron Perlman. He was
Yeah.
on
Oh,
Sons of
boy.
Anarchy.
He's great.
He
Hellboy.
played Clay.
Hellboy, yes.
Yeah, he was He was the original Hellboy.
Hellboy,
He was.
yeah, the original.
The second Hellboy was the guy from Stranger Things, actually.
Yeah.
The guy that played the cop.
David Harbour, yes.
Oh, yeah.
He was the second Hellboy.
That's right.
I have to say, Sam Neill, he did have an air of Indiana Jones about him in this movie,
Yeah.
didn't he?
He had the hats and the way he dressed. But turns out he was dressed differently in the book though. He had a Hawaiian shirt. He had it was different.
Oh.
So
He
yeah,
was the Tom Selleck of archaeology.
they changed quite a bit of the compared to the book. I mean, most of the some of the biggest changes was just like the graphic content, which I can understand because I'm pretty sure because clearly they wanted to make this like more, like
PG.
yeah, more like really like water down the violence kind of content, like so that way it could be, more audiences will be able to see it. A PG-13 rating. So
Well, having Jeff Goldblum with his shirt off, that would have drawn a lot of the women.
Oh, then it becomes triple X.
But I'm sure when this film came out, it wasn't PG-13, it was a PG because my parents were quite strict about me watching Universal or PG. And when I was 6 or 7, I watched this film, and I should not have watched it at that age because it was
Well, 6 or
terrifying.
7, this film was long.
oh yeah,
But,
like
like,
Yeah, but weren't you living somewhere else?
PG.
yeah.
Yeah, the UK. It was in the UK in
Those
England.
the ratings over in the UK might have been different than the US rating.
Oh yeah.
They are.
So
Yeah,
It
I
was
mean,
just the PG.
yeah, I'm
that
thinking
might
about my
explain the difference.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about my nieces and nephew because after being over at my sister's place, like Graham, he's got that bumpy character from Jurassic World Cretaceous Camp. Like he has like a stuffy of that character. I'm just thinking, oh man, it's only a matter of time before they're gonna want to see the dinosaur movie, and I'm thinking, like this will definitely be the best dinosaur movie they will ever see, no question.
Yeah.
Definitely will be, but at the same time, I'm thinking they're so young. They're like 8 and younger, and I'm just thinking, oh man, like it's
Yeah.
like I would love to watch that film with them, but not yet.
Yeah.
It will
Obviously,
scar them for life.
yeah, definitely will scar them. But this will be the best
Mhm.
dinosaur movie they will ever watch. I mean, nothing could ever top this. Nothing.
Yeah.
Well, no.
Nick may
Well,
be gone, but he left his heart on.
after
I'm just saying.
after
Yeah, let me text
Jurassic
Nick. Ask
Park,
him, where did you
though,
go?
after Jurassic Park, though, they started doing things. Look at, I don't know about anywhere else, but here they had our one of our biggest zoos, Milwaukee Zoo, had a big
Okay.
dinosaur exhibit that comes
Mhm.
and goes certain times throughout the year. And oh my God, the kids, that place gets so crowded at that time of year. It's like they have these big, huge statues of life size, dinosaurs. And,
Yeah.
and they got buttons that they can push to make the sounds and, tell the stories about
So
it. It's pretty interactive.
I have a question. Why do you think kids, especially, love dinosaurs? Because they don't even exist now.
They
But
they
why?
seem mystical, like you know what I mean.
Yeah, they
Like
see them as
it's
like
like
Mm,
dragons and
Yeah,
you know.
I don't know. I mean, when I was a kid, that was something you kind of learned in school too, more or
yeah.
less, because they had like the history and geology.
But why do they love them so much?
I
Like,
mean, I know why I did. I mean, because we had nothing else to do, no computers, so learning
yeah.
about that and like going to the what do they call that? It's like got the round dome roof, and they show all the constellations and the
Oh yeah.
stars.
Observatory?
Yeah, so we get or something like that. We got to go there quite frequently when I was a kid because the high school was like right there, and it had one in
Mm,
there. So I mean, learning
But
that stuff as a kid was fun,
yeah.
and
yeah, and
the schools made it fun. But
Mhm.
I don't know why, with all the stuff that goes on in schools nowadays, with all the security and so on and so forth. I don't know how come kids are fascinated with them
well,
today.
like I said, they seem kind of mystical. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah. Like unicorns.
yeah, or
Yeah.
Sasquatch, or or any of the cryptids.
Fairies.
As Lois would say, um,
Cryptids, yeah.
cryptids.
Planetarium is what
Yeah,
Insane
planet,
Joe was after.
Yeah.
or if you're on South Park, you would say planetarium.
oh, I remember
But
that episode.
it's like the Beast of Bray Road. It's a story. It captures the imagination.
Yeah,
Mm,
that's the thing. Yeah, it don't. Yeah, like it seems like extinct
Captures
animals like capture the
imagination.
imagination.
But I find
Yeah,
that a lot of kids don't have an imagination today.
They don't have to. They have
well,
these.
Yeah, I
I
know.
would.
That's
I
what I'm
would
saying.
argue. I mean, I would argue strongly against that because my nieces and nephews are some of the brightest kids you'll ever see.
Oh no, there's
Yeah, like
exceptions.
they
Don't get me
got
wrong. There's
tons of imagination.
exceptions.
Exceptions to that rule, but a lot of these kids, they were born with all these computers and cell phones.
And now they have AI right here on their freaking
Yeah.
phones, and they don't have to imagine
And
anything.
it's like they weren't even taught to not have that stuff. So when it comes to a family function, they got their phones out and they're talking to each other across the room when you should be talking to the people right there in the room with you.
Yep.
You know, call me old fashioned, but that's the way
You're
I was.
old fashioned.
Yeah.
One
So
thing that
Nick
bugs
is
me about the movie. One thing that bugs me about the movie, when they were cutting the amber to get to the mosquito, there were sparks. Amber is fuel, is a tree sap that's
Sap.
solidified.
Yeah, it's
It
like
does
sap.
not create sparks. I
No,
know because I've done it. I've used it, and it can't make sparks.
It's not conductive
Even
at all.
No.
No.
So when
Interesting.
they're showing sparks coming off the grinder as they're grinding away the amber, it's fake.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. Like I was about to say, there were a few inconsistencies in this film,
Well, that
like
whole thing
scientifically.
about trying to get blood out of a mosquito that's been fossilized in amber. I mean, come on.
Like I said,
Yeah,
that would never happen. Like the
That-
I was about,
DNA,
yeah,
the
It's almost
DNA is
an
long dead.
impossibility. Yeah.
Mm.
yeah. It's not preserved. It's a DNA would not stay preserved inside of a mosquito. It would just be.
No.
But look at how small that was. That needle had to be a lot smaller than they made it look, too.
Right.
Yeah.
And the amber
Yeah.
was only like this big.
Yeah.
And they had like a little mosquito. Well, it was a bigger mosquito than what we're used to, but it, like, I mean, come on, that little needle that's attached that would not get through that thick skin of a dinosaur because
Not
the
without
dinosaur's
breaking.
skin is like this thick
Oh,
or
yeah.
whatever. You know?
Well,
Yeah.
the mosquito would have had to be like 10 times that size.
Easily,
Yeah.
at least.
Well, at least.
Here, oh wait, I just thought of one dinosaur that we forgot to talk about. They came across one of the more gentler dinosaurs. That was the Triceratops.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yes,
Oh,
that one
now
scene
you're
where
talking
they
about the
they came
scene.
across a sickly Triceratops, and
Well, they had a few like vegetative.
oh yeah, there were several herbivores in featured.
Dinosaurs.
Yeah. And let's see. So the Triceratops was here's the thing: the whole Jurassic Park was mainly shot in Hawaii, which probably which it does not surprise me at all. You know?
Mm.
But let's see, like a lot of the scenes featuring the dinosaurs were shot in like the sound stages of LA. But that Triceratops scene was actually filmed in Hawaii because
Oh, wow.
I felt like having it on location like that made it feel like would look more genuine as far as the island being taking place on the island. Yes,
I get
and
that.
so they went to operate the site Triceratops. They had to dig a hole beneath the animatronic with like 8 puppeteers operating it with cables, and like the backside of the Triceratops had like a door that had like 4 people inside of it, and so it took quite a bit of effort to do it. I don't know where Tom just went. I wanted to make sure I waited until was here or Nick was here. Everybody's disappearing on us.
Yeah.
Well, that's similar to how they manipulated Kermit the Frog in Rainbow Connection. They had I can't remember them. Jim Henson in a barrel underneath the water, looking at a monitor attached to him, and arm up like that, doing the voice, and then pulling the string to do the guitar,
The
but
mouth movements.
banjo. But
No.
yeah.
I got you.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, and the Triceratops in this, the design of it is not the original design that we see in is not what we see in the movie. That's not the original design of it. It was meant to be different colors. Like they were originally going to have it like multicolored, like I think purple, yellow, and green, and maybe with some red in that.
Make it look like something out of the Avatar movies, huh?
Yeah, pretty much. But then Stan Winston, when he was shown that, he was like, "Nope, we need it to be one solid color." So they decided, we're going to make this whole thing brown because
It's a shame.
yeah, with this whole multicolor thing, he thought it would look ridiculous.
Damn, Nick's not back yet.
Well, if
Mm.
they do
Nick,
it right,
where did you go?
well, if you think about it, they do it like green and brown, because you think about it, the dinosaurs, amphibians,
Camouflage.
they could have got away with that, but adding all the other colors would have been pointless. Just do shades of green and brown or a couple of different colors, and they could have gotten away with it.
Right.
I have a question. How did they?
Kate has a question. This is really an odd experience. She never has questions.
You know the T-Rex and the guys like don't move because they sense movement. How do they know that? Where does that come from?
They're just
Oh yeah, they actually
assuming.
did. They actually did give an. Oh yeah, they actually did give an explanation for that in the book, as
Right,
to like,
what's the
oh, the
explanation?
T-Rex's vision is based on movement. They mentioned in both the movie and the book that that frog DNA was used to like finish the genetic code for the dinosaurs. In the book, they mentioned
So
that
the
they did mention
T-Rex
that.
would just hop.
Yeah. Okay. So in the book, we're talking about the whole idea of like the vision being based on movement for the T-Rex.
Oh, okay.
They actually did. They didn't give an explanation for it in the movie, but in the book they did. Because they stated in the book that when they use frog DNA to complete the genetic code for the dinosaurs, right? You know, which movie
Yeah.
does as well. But in the book they said that frogs tend to like be able to see based on movement. So that whole aspect of the T-Rex vision being based on movement and all the dinosaurs' vision being based on movement was through the frog DNA. So
Wow.
that was.
Okay.
They said that in the book, but didn't explain that way in the movie for some reason.
Yeah. Oh, thanks, Don. That makes sense now.
Let's go back to the sixth dinosaur, because that's the part of the movie that I couldn't bear to watch too much. But I don't know how they did it. But when they made that big pile of giant poop, and we're digging through it, to see what made that dinosaur sick.
Oh God! Yeah,
That's
they did.
part of,
And then
that's the
somebody's
whole
cell
part of
phone
the
was in the
movie
poop.
that kind of made me go, ew.
Oh God!
And
Yeah.
then the other one's dun, 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 dun.
And also the one.
I mean, let's be honest.
But
So,
being
sorry,
in,
sorry,
Everybody
Kate,
calm
I
down.
just want to throw this out. Just they should at least be glad it wasn't like real, like it wasn't like some cow shit or something.
No.
Yeah. Also
That
that
shit.
scene with the long neck and it sneezes on her.
Brachiosaurus? Yes.
Yeah, I do remember that.
oh,
That's
that was terrible too.
Oh,
This
Yeah,
is
really.
disgusting.
I don't know which would be worse. I don't know what scenario would be worse.
I just have to point out that Nick said shit. He said
Yeah.
it
I
first.
know.
I actually no. I have said it before.
He has.
Nick,
I think that's
language.
the first time I've heard you swear.
I mean, I would never curse.
You know what? BS.
Yeah. It's like some people, like who've watched my show, who've watched the FearFans podcast, have been like saying, "Oh, like there's some people who are swearing in this." I'm just like, I mean, hey, I believe in free speech on this. Yeah, I'm all for it. It's like I just don't partake in like in like profanity, like because like I know that parents and kids are watching this. It's like
No,
hey, I could just spew whatever as an adult, but on here I just choose not to. But
I get it. I do the same thing with my podcast. Like I don't.
but
You know
however,
what? You got to be honest here.
Okay.
I mean, you and I were just talking about Scary Terry and how much he says bitch a lot.
but
no.
but-
You can say bitch because they can now say that on regular TV.
On
Yeah.
radio,
That's-
it's like
That's okay.
it's like fine.
it's no longer censored.
Yeah, so I won't cuss on my show or on my channel, but I will not try to control what other people say. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, it's like I believe in free speech. You know, if other people want to, fine. But
That's
but
right. No, I'm
Yeah.
just kidding.
hey, as long
I
as
try to
it
watch
doesn't,
myself more and more
I
on
mean,
this show.
as long as it doesn't cross any serious lines, you know, as far as racial stuff or derogative, you know, like nothing like that, then okay.
Hey, you know, I'm just gonna say this because I brought this up on Tom's live last night. Which, Kate, I'm sure you would be surprised. Kate, and Robert, I'm sure you guys would be surprised if I was laughing so much when Tom said this when he was talking about Nick's roast beef. Like my roast beef.
You know, like I was like, dude, there are so many ways I could take this right now. I'm not going to because we're not going to do that on my podcast. We're
It
going
was
to move
funny.
on.
And Robert, what you said afterwards, Nick's tip.
And I was like, yep, yeah, okay. So
And
We're
so,
moving on here.
hey, Nick, now that you're back, there's just one other cast member who I wanted to mention.
Yeah, sorry
So,
guys. I didn't mean to disappear for a while. My parents needed to talk
uh,
to me, and they were about to go to bed, so
okay.
I had to take a few
That's
minutes.
right. They were like, "Listen, you got to stop leaving your dirty underwear all over the house."
Jesus Christ.
I'm just,
Now
Okay,
you
you're
know,
all right,
I
all
mean,
right,
it's
all
on
right,
the
all right.
couch, it's in the doorway. I
Okay,
mean,
I'm gonna stop you there, Tom.
What were you gonna say, Don?
hey, look, I could have went further with it, but
I know you would have, but
Anyway,
yeah,
Yeah.
I was starting to get disgusted by it, to be honest.
Yeah.
I didn't
Don't
say
look at me
what they
weird.
were dirty
Go
from.
ahead, Todd.
no, we're off topic again.
yeah, come on, Jurassic Park. Next
Okay, all right.
question.
All right, all right, all right.
Go on, Don.
So the one cast member on this is pretty controversial.
Hmm.
Yeah, the actor who played like Lewis Dodgson, sorry.
Dotson. There's a
Yeah, Dodson.
Dotson
We got
here.
Dodson here.
Dotson.
Yeah,
We got
who
Dotson.
who paid off Dennis Nedry to steal the dinosaur embryos from Jurassic Park
Oh, yeah.
for a rival genetics company that Dodson was
Mm.
associated with. So yeah, he does make a comeback in Jurassic World Dominion, and people have asked why he's played by a different actor. He's played by Campbell Scott in Jurassic World Dominion, but he's played by Gregory Thor in the first Jurassic Park movie. And the reason why he's replaced is because since this film, he has become a convicted pedophile.
What?
Oh, wow.
Yes, he
No,
was an acting coach, and here, I have the whole story here. Let
Oh
me
my
pull it up. Here.
God.
Let me pull it up
that's
here.
horrendous.
You never
So,
know.
let's see. Thor's accuser, Jordan Landell, who was 13 at the time, claimed that Thor had sexually assaulted her in 2009, and
Oh
as a
God.
result, Gregory Thor has been sentenced to 6 years over. Like he was sentenced to 6 years for sexual misconduct with a 13-year-old. Let's see. Oh no, his name is Cameron Thor. Sorry, not Gregory. He goes by his middle name, but yeah, not that it makes much of a difference to me. Yeah,
Is he a
so yeah, the guy's a scumbag. I do not like him.
is he a
No,
convicted sex
awful.
offender now, or
Yep, he is.
okay?
Yeah, I don't believe he works with Hollywood anymore. I'm pretty sure Hollywood wants nothing to do with him. I mean,
Yeah, he probably lost everything as a
They
result.
started doing that stuff, banning some of those people. I mean, that's I used to watch a series, and then on Netflix, and Netflix totally it's still there, but they didn't cancel it for like a new or didn't renew it for a new season, and Hollywood refused it. Well, he's sitting behind bars, but that's Danny Masterson for the
oh yeah, yeah.
for
I
the
don't know.
same thing. And God knows how many accounts, because, and I hate to say this, but the guy was, what is it? Church of Scientology, you
Oh
know. I didn't know
no.
anything about the Church of Scientology. Anytime an accuser came forward to accuse one of their members of something like this, that accuser got harassed by other members of the Church of Scientology to keep quiet. So these charges, they take time before they actually come out. So God knows how many women were affected by him.
Oh
Yeah,
man,
That's
yeah, I'm not
awful.
Only got
horrific.
charged and convicted of, I think, 6 or 7, but there could have been a lot more.
you know,
Yeah, I'm
you know,
disgusted by. But
seen that movie several times and seen that scene with Wayne Knight. You know, that guy, obviously, because I was younger, of course, there would have been. I would have never expected that he would end up becoming what he became.
yeah, I wouldn't. I didn't expect that with several people, including Brian Peck, who I remember from Return of the Living Dead, who
Yep,
became
that's right.
associated with Nickelodeon and decided to prey on child actors. So yeah,
And also, let's not forget
unforgivable.
Dan Schneider, who created a lot of those shows back in the 90s, early 2000s, who literally created our childhood and then destroyed it all.
Yeah, I have nothing but disgust for people who prey on kids. That includes
Yep.
them. That includes Victor Salva, Roman
No,
Mm.
Polanski.
Victor Salva, tell me
Yeah,
about.
yeah, Roman Polanski. Even then, now they're saying that they're no longer pursuing Roman Polanski for legal offense for his crimes.
Yeah, because statute of limitations expired.
Yeah, because authorities probably
Well,
figured. I don't know. Authorities probably figured at his
I
age,
hate
it's like
to
why
say
bother?
this, but just in Roman Polanski's defense, he probably got really messed up and screwed up in the head because of the way his his wife and his unborn child were killed.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Still doesn't justify it.
no, it doesn't justify it, but I'm just saying
The Manson murders.
he got mentally messed up in the head and probably never uh, sought out help like he should have.
Sharon Tate, right?
Yeah, Sharon Tate.
Yeah. So if he had gotten some kind of help, it would have definitely made things better. But
I mean,
unfortunately, he just
Sharon
never had
Tate
it. He just
was
never chose to do it.
due to pop any time before she was murdered. I mean, she was like 8. The reason that's why she had friends staying with her because Roman didn't want her staying alone when she was that far along.
Right. And let's see.
Actually, I'm just going to say this now, real quick. Is even today, I don't know if any of you guys heard. In March of last year, he was sued by the LA Superior Court by another woman who alleged was raped by him, but this time it was back in 1973. So it's obvious that he may have had a history of doing these things, not just with that
Clearly.
person back in '77, but
Yeah, clearly.
There's still controversy surrounding him to this day, even over 50 years later.
Yep. It's just horrifies me how many people are like that out there who to me they're not always going to be redeemed. There are certain maybe some, but there are some that are out there that are always going to have this sickness and have no business to even walk among us.
It actually says here he is facing a civil trial for this allegation. His trial date set is for August of later this year. So looks like he's going to be going to court soon.
Yep, rightfully so.
And to make matters worse, this woman too was also a kid at that time, back in '73.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Anyway.
So to wrap this up, Jurassic Park, in my book, one of the best movies of all time. If you have not seen it, what are you doing? Go watch it. Seriously.
Yeah.
It's like one of the best things you could ever experience as far as cinema. Like
Iconic.
It's a movie I always go back to again and again. And also, if you're willing to read the book as well, this book is like one of the best things I've read in a while. I'm surprised I didn't do it years ago, but definitely not for the faint of heart. It's got some pretty graphic moments in this, and I gotta say, I was not expecting the whole river chase between Grant and the kids and the T-Rex in this. You know, that was not. There were some things that were left out of the film, including that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, they saved that for I think Jurassic Park 3, where the Spinosaurus was in place of the T-Rex.
You know, it's also interesting you put that out because did you guys ever play the Game Boy version of Jurassic Park 3? You guys ever? So it's funny. It's like when you look at the film itself, you know, the Spinosaurus obviously is pretty much the main antagonist of it. And while the Spinosaurus is also in the Game Boy Advanced version of it, it doesn't have as big of a role than the film does. So the ironic part is in the video game, it's the Tyrannosaurus that once again is kind of the main antagonist in the video game. He's the last one that you got to face before you escape the island.
Right. And yeah, like the Jurassic Park games, like I like nothing nothing beats the original arcade game. Like we were talking about earlier. Like I enjoyed that. So awesome. And I believe they're working on another one now. Actually.
Oh.
Yeah. So that'll be exciting. Apparently, it's canon with the first movie. Like it takes place like after that helicopter takes off. There's like a few like one person remaining on the island. Like apparently, like you play as that person trying to escape. So I'll have to give that a look. And there was a PC, and there was even a PC game that I wasn't even aware of until recently. Called let's see, I think it was called Jurassic Park Survivor. Here, let me.
While you're doing that, I also realized something else too that I didn't know about until years later when it came to Jurassic Park was the island, like where all this takes place. I never realized. I know. In reality, it was probably shot like I said, you know, some parts were shot off the coast of Hawaii and whatnot, and some other areas. But I didn't realize that in canon, in storyline, that this island actually is supposed to take place it's off the coast of Central America, Costa Rica to be exact. I didn't realize it was like near Costa Rica.
Yeah, it was actually filmed on Hawaii.
Well, yeah, it was filmed in Hawaii, but I didn't realize in the storyline that it takes place off Costa Rica. I thought it was. I thought originally it was supposed to be Hawaii too.
Yeah, they announced that you didn't know that the movie takes place off of a Costa Rican island. They announced that right at the start of the film.
It's been many years since I've seen that movie. To be honest.
But yeah, I found that game. Here.
When I was younger, I didn't know much about different countries and whatnot.
I found that game. Jurassic Park Trespasser. That's it. It was on the PC. It had some some interesting game mechanics, like where a heart tattoo that you look down on is your life bar. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. But one Jurassic Park game in recent years that I enjoy is Jurassic Park Evolution 2, where if you ever played like a Roller Coaster Tycoon or Zoo Tycoon, it's pretty much like that, but with dinosaurs. You can create your own Jurassic Park.
That's cool.
Yeah, which I thought was awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
That sounds right up my street.
Oh yeah.
Sounds like it to me. Yeah.
I believe it is available on the Switch, but the second game is better than the first one.
Okay.
Yeah, so I recommend Evolution 2. Yeah.
Nice.
Oh yeah. Oh, and also I wanted to go over
That's
before we wrap this up. I want to go over some bad ripoffs of Jurassic Park, because obviously when the movie came out, lots of people wanted to cash in on the success here. Bad dino movies of '90s. Here.
There is one other movie I want to throw out quickly. It's not a ripoff of Jurassic Park, but it came out long before then, and it's a really good note. But I'll wait until you find what you find on.
Okay, there's several here. Let's see. Worst dinosaur movie number 1 in the '90s was Theodore Rex. What is this? Hang on.
I have no idea. Anybody know?
Theodore Rex. Okay. Here, 1996, straight to video. I'm not surprised. Buddy cop sci-fi movie featuring Whoopi Goldberg was in it?
Whoopi Goldberg.
What? And yeah, it looks like garbage.
Just a reminder, you still have Braxton's comment up.
Yeah. yeah, I saw that, Braxton. I saw your here, just to give you guys an idea. Here, let me share the screenshot. You got to. This has to be seen to be believed. Here. Okay, here. Does this look like something you would watch?
Wow.
Oh God, no!
Oh my God,
that's terrible.
Wasn't this just a bad dream?
It looks like a terrible dream to me.
Looks like Dinosaurs the Show.
that I was just going to say, it looks like the dinosaur from the show. The movie.
Yeah, it really does. It almost looks like a rip.
Yeah, that's got to be one of the worst things I've seen in a while.
That's awful.
I mean,
who
thought that was a good idea?
I don't know. And originally,
Cinema apparently worked on that.
The TV show that you just brought up, they were going to make a movie out of it, which I'm sure that would have been far better. But that is just bad.
It's worse than Barney.
It looks way worse than Barney. Let's see.
Oh my God, that was another thing we forgot to bring up. Different dinosaurs, stuff that came out in the 90s. Out of everything, we never even mentioned Barney.
Right. Let's not.
I actually got to dress up as Barney for my nephew's first birthday party.
You know what?
Wow.
To be perfectly honest, I grew up with that when I was very young. I was one of those.
Me
fans.
too. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
you know
I will
what?
tell
It was
you-
far better than what they're making it now. Now it's even worse.
I will tell you, in the costume that I had, the head was monstrously huge compared to my head. But inside the head, there was a dried loogie that I was looking at the entire time.
Ew.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Don't get me started with that purple.
Okay, so I got this leads to a question, Tom. When you were in that costume, were you ever drunk at all in it?
No.
Okay.
I was not. It was too hot. It was too hot out.
I was gonna say, I'm sure it must have been hot.
And at the time, I was actually thin, so we had to pack the suit with quilts and pillows and stuff like that. So
Here,
I was sweating.
Here, guys, I found another one.
I was gonna say, I'm sure it must have been hot as hell in that.
Oh my God.
Here, I found another one right here. This one's more of a cult classic. It's called
right now. Oh
Yeah.
God,
What?
no.
Yeah, this one is called Tammy and the T-Rex, and you'd be surprised at who's in it. Let's see, Denise Richards is in this, and so is Paul Walker.
Hmm.
Yeah. So the premise of this one is that a mad scientist has transplanted Paul Walker's brain into a T-Rex animatronic, and is trying to and now the T-Rex is on the loose, and like Paul Walker is still controlling it, like his conscience, right? And is trying to like tell his girlfriend Denise Richards that his brain has been put into a T-Rex animatronic. Let's see, how do I get out of
Oh
this?
my God.
Oh God, no.
And apparently, there's a lot of gore in it.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah,
Right.
apparently this is like a big cult classic. I'm thinking, should I watch this or not? I mean, Paul. It's like an early role for Paul Walker. God rest his soul. He's known for Fast and Furious franchise.
Yeah,
Family.
he's also known for that other movie. What was it? It was an early one that he did. It was with the trucker, the truck driver that was chasing him.
Oh, Joyride.
Yeah, Joyride.
Yes,
That was a great movie.
it was.
Like what Braxton said. Yeah, Braxton, I grew up with that show too. I did both.
Teletubby.
Teletubbies.
Oh
I did both shows.
God!
I did that
Both
and
those
Barney.
shows should be banned.
Tinky Winky.
Oh yeah.
You know what? We
Uh,
actually
the,
did
the
show.
son with the
we
baby
actually did
face.
show a clip of that show to my niece, obviously, because she's at the right age. And the weirdest thing is, like, when I looked at that show now, like what it was, it's just amazing thinking, wow, the show looks so grainy now. It's like it's old.
Yeah, it's on Netflix.
Yeah, it is. I know there's a channel that's still broadcast, not that crappy revival series, but they were showing it off some other channel. My dad switched it for her, and I was just like, wow, how much time has passed since then?
That show was actually the very first like hearty laugh that my son and I shared, and I only laughed because of how hard he was laughing.
Hey, remember I
Because
told you,
like they had
It was
the
one of those
Teletubby pudding or whatever, and it
Oh,
was
the
all
custard,
over the
yeah.
place, and they were like Tinky Winky know what to clean the tubby pudding. Ew, and he thought that was hysterical, and I could not stop laughing. Like every time
dog
he
head and
once
human
said,
body. What
Aw.
was
What?
that? show? It sounds like something for dog men. And you know,
Dog people?
at top, let's not forget, I shared this out to you a few months ago, that there was a new version of Veggie Tales that dealt with pickle Rick in it.
Oh my god. Pickle
Yeah,
Rick,
it was.
Pickle Rick's
I
gonna slaughter
got
them
it
all.
to you, Don. You'll love it.
I was about to say Pickle Rick will slaughter every one of them if they
No,
do.
there was like they were like there was like a meme made of like the Veggie Tales characters, and then Pickle Rick is standing in the middle, like drunk. He's like, yeah, and they're all like, because that show was also a show for Catholics, and they're like, drinking is a sin, you know. He's like, hey, you know, and I said that to Tom, and I just love what he says. He's like, hey, you know what, Morty, that was just such a stupid. You got to get over it. That was such a stupid cartoon show, made for Catholic people.
Oh my god. Yeah.
That was a good response he gave me.
So yeah, I need to ask. I've already got an idea of what you guys are going to say, but what is your favorite dinosaur in Jurassic Park in this movie?
The T-Rex.
Don, you'll have to comment
Okay.
up again.
Yeah, that's what I have the best memories of watching Jurassic Park. I love the T-Rex.
Yep, same. Some people say T-Rex, some people say Raptor, some people say
was
the
gonna say, I like
Triceratops,
the
even though it was just that one scene.
Yeah,
I like the Raptors.
I
Raptors
was
were great.
terrified of the Raptors.
Oh,
Don,
yeah.
you'll have to comment up again.
Oh, the comments are off still up. Wait, my older sister ran away from Barney. She said, I think. Oh, she ran away from Barney. Okay.
I ran to him back in the day.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah. Apparently, like I was scrolling through like Netflix, just randomly just came across like Barney becoming animated, and I'm just like,
No,
okay,
yeah, that's what I mean. The first
okay.
time
It's like I don't care.
the first time I saw him that way, I'm not even lying. I actually screamed because that was just terrifying to look at. I'm like, this is not even what I used to grow up with. I actually was
and
screaming.
that's like just about as that's just about as painful as when the one time. Yeah, it was just as painful as just that one time when. Oh, Nick's disappeared again.
No, I'm still here. I'm just grabbing something.
One time in band camp.
No, that what? No, it's just about as almost as painful as that one time on Netflix where they recommended House of the Dead, and when I saw that, I'm just like, how dare you? How dare you recommend House of the Dead to me? I'm like, no, that's House of a Thousand Corpses.
Oh
no.
yeah,
House of the Dead is that god awful movie that Uwe Boll directed, and we're probably gonna end up covering that one day because people said we should cover more bad movies. You know, House of the Dead is one of them, and I'm just like,
there is
I'm
a
like,
shit ton of
and
horror movies.
I was very close to just sending a message saying, hey, Netflix, and then screenshot that and just write WTF exclamation points. 10 exclamation
there is
points.
One other movie I'm hoping we can cover sometime that's pretty. I mean, it's not overall terrible, but it still is bad in some way.
Debbie Does Dallas.
No, no, damn it. Well, no. First off, before I tell you what movie, what I was searching for was, believe it or not, even after all these years, we actually still have an old VHS copy, a white copy, in fact. I mean, VHS tape of the old Barney series. We still have it after all these years. It hasn't been played in like 25 plus years now, but we still, and it's like the original series from the late 80s, early 90s. So we still have a tape of that. I thought I'd be able to point out. I know it's around here somewhere. So it's
Braxton is saying, hey, just imagine if they made a horror version of Barney.
Yeah.
That actually reminded me of a video from a YouTube channel that I always loved since I was a teenager called Smosh. And they did a video called If Kid Shows Were Real, like what would happen if a kid show was realistic. Yeah, I showed you one part of that, but not all of it.
A few times,
Here.
I thought.
What? No. That was a different video.
Oh,
no,
that was
here.
They
They actually did do a segment that you guys need to see. Hang on.
Well, they did one of what was it? Banana Split Show.
Here it is.
Don, wait, before you play it, you may want to take down the comment.
Oh, yeah. Okay, here's what Barney would be like if it was a horror film.
Oh, that is dark.
Wait, that dude that was crawling on the floor at the end, he looked like the kid from, and I'm really not trying to sound bad, but he looked like the kid from the Shriners commercials that said, like, you can get this adorable blanket. Like,
I actually thought he looked like. Honestly, I actually thought he looked like Josh from Drake.
Yeah, well, you know what? Yeah, he kind of did too.
Let's see. House of the Dead 2 shouldn't even have been titled that because the majority of it, it had nothing to do with the first film. I mean, that's an improvement.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, there's been a lot of movies that did that over time. Right?
Yeah.
So another movie. So to also answer what I was going to say, Don, I had one movie in particular that was the one I was. In fact, it was 20 years ago today that this movie was first released. So this is a good time for me to even bring it up. So does anybody here remember that movie Boogeyman? Not the one that came out a year ago, but anyone remember that one?
I think I know what you're talking about.
It had Barry Watson in it, and I mean, it's not. It got poor reviews, but I remember seeing when I was younger. And now kind of partially watching it, the storyline is actually good. It just when you actually see the boogeyman at the end, it's just really, that's the one.
I remember this one. I remember it.
That was 20 years ago today that it came out alongside. And what's kind of ironic was there was another movie that came out just a few days before Boogeyman did, which kind of had almost like a similarity to it, is Hide and Seek with Dakota Fanning and Robert De Niro.
Right.
They were kind of released both around the same time. Yep, that's what I mentioned. The 2005 one, Braxton.
Mm-hmm. Ghost of Mars was way better than House of Dead. I agree. It was not. I mean, Ghost of Mars was not John Carpenter's best film, but it's still much more watchable than House of the Dead. Anything is more watchable than House of the Dead.
Mm,
Well, I'll tell you what, the movie on the poster behind you
Yes.
is turning 50 as well.
That film is probably better than House of the Dead.
So,
you know what?
so that movie came out in 1975, which is the same year that like an icon.
This old pickle named Tom.
Yeah, right. This, I mean, he has a YouTube channel. I forget what it's called right now off the top of my head.
Yeah,
but,
he's a little bit dumb sometimes when he's on because he's drunk a lot.
Well, I mean, you know what? Listen, he's not as dumb as his friend that keeps hitting friggin' iron golems and then trying to friend them.
Exactly.
I'm just saying.
And seriously, Nick, we've been playing that game for a year, and you still haven't learned how to use crafting.
ridiculous.
In my first month of playing the damn game, I surpassed you.
Exactly.
I was actually listening to your live.
He keeps taking all of our tools and then losing them when he dies.
And then burning down the houses, which is why I made ours out of stone. Which, by the way,
Cool.
the house that I made in that pickle survival now has a second floor, which is much
it
bigger than the
does.
first floor.
Oh, that's good.
You know,
And there's like a little glass patio and everything. Like I've been working.
I'm just gonna say this now. I was actually listening to your live. I was listening to it again when I was working today. I was laughing at times to like some of the parts of your live, including when you were talking about the golems.
Oh my lord!
And so,
I just
this year.
Oh no! I just want to say real because of what Braxton just said. The 2000 said he loves that one. Didn't see it in theaters. See, that was the same thing with me too. And I actually want to tell you, Don, real quick, because somebody actually made a really good comment about this movie that even though it's not the best, whoever said this, somebody said, I think you're going to agree with me nonetheless. He said, this is so much better than the Bye Bye Man. Can we agree on that?
I don't even know what the hell that is.
Oh, God.
A movie a movie that needed to go bye-bye from the movie theater. Yeah, it needs to go bye-bye from existence. Oh, yeah. What they should have done in that movie is have, right before someone dies, have Instinct's bye-bye-bye playing. That would have been hilarious.
I know. Yeah, right? Didn't even do that. What the hell?
Yeah, wasted opportunity.
It was a wasted opportunity. And, they say this constantly in the film, but they say, don't think it, don't say it. Well, the tagline from everything about this movie, it should have been, don't think it, don't say it, don't see it.
Don't watch it. Don't buy it. Don't own it. Don't rent it.
Don't even talk about it.
I don't know what happened with Kate, Thomas, if that's what you're wondering. Yeah. But here's the thing: if the Bye Bye Man is responsible for all the evil in this world, how could it be doing that when it's confined to just that one small town? That doesn't make sense.
Well, and when you look at this movie Boogeyman, the one from 2005, even though it does also center around one location in this house, the point about that movie is that the Boogeyman in that film is supposed to be haunting closets, literally. Like all closets worldwide, because you eventually do see him trying to target Barry Watson's character at a hotel and whatnot, and the closets start acting like portals. So it does go to show that yes, it may take place in this one location, but it still shows that he could travel anywhere that's got a closet.
So Monsters Inc.
Actually,
was right.
has a portal, then he can go to the Nether.
Like Monsters Inc.
What were you saying, Robert?
I said, so Monsters Inc. was right.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So to wrap this up, Jurassic Park, one of the best movies ever, and you're crazy if you don't see this one. Seriously, it's incredible.
Just
Come on, you gotta go see it. Come on.
Oh no.
What's the matter?
My pop filter just broke.
Your what?
Oh,
the little filter you put in front of your microphone.
Oh yeah.
It's just I don't know. I don't care. Whatever.
Robert, I saw that one of your boys decided to make a brief cameo.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Robert was the only one that made a cameo on the P word when I was on there tonight. I'm just saying, for all you Fear fans and Things Network people, and I posted in the damn chat,
Sorry,
Robert was the
I was
only one that
making
showed up.
dinner.
All right, you're excused. You have a family to
All
take
good.
care of.
Hey,
But
hey,
these other
Yes, all
guys,
good.
Hey, you know what? Next time I
There were
will.
no shows.
Hey, you're just lucky I made it here tonight.
no, you're excused too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
you
think
got an
Joe's
excuse, Joe.
excused out of all of us.
Yeah, seriously, Joe. Like, yeah, like when I first heard about this, I was just like, I actually told Joe, like, don't worry about the show if you can't go on. You're like, your health is more important than this.
Most
Totally.
definitely.
But thank you for making it, Joe.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm stubborn. I
Ah,
really
man,
let
hey,
the doctors
you
keep me
hey, you know
overnight.
Wait,
what?
you're stubborn? I don't believe that at all.
Yeah, I am. I got old. I got old, cranky, and stubborn.
Yeah, me too. Oh, well, I'm getting there. You know,
Get
I'm
off
about
my
50.
lawn!
See, I
I'm about
really
50
do got
now.
I really do got OCD, Robert. Old cranky
Needed Willow,
disorder.
Kyle's, Anya, Xander, Buffy,
Yeah,
Oz, and
Old
old
Tanya
cranky dude.
situation.
Oh, yeah, I heard that Buffy's making a resurgence.
She is.
I
Reboot.
heard that
I just
too.
heard.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been ages
By
though.
the way, just so you, hey, you know what? If it makes you feel better,
What are
you
you gonna
watch
do?
next week.
You
You
know
know,
what I mean? Hey,
I
you
just
know,
gotta tell me when it's gonna be.
hey, you know,
Like an angel.
it's
Oh yeah. And everybody says I'm Angel. That I look like him.
I gotta ask
Yeah,
you
you
guys.
do.
I gotta ask you guys this because you brought it up about a minute or two ago. You imagine also if Minecraft was a horror movie involving those golems.
Wow.
Yeah, and you,
well,
You're the
especially
first
when you
one.
have somebody that keeps hitting them.
yeah,
Yeah.
and hey Nick, you would be there. You would be the only person killed in that movie.
Yep.
Just you.
I
Just like
guess I
That
just can't.
sounds like a boring movie.
Yeah.
I just can't make a peace offering to them.
no, you attack them, they want you dead. That's
There's
it.
no
I've
peace
only hit
offering.
them. I've only hit them a few times by accident. The rest of the time they
By
just start.
Accident or
Listen.
not, they take that personal.
Yeah,
Listen,
well,
I'm gonna
it's
tell you
not-
what. Again, because
I
you're
keep
playing on a
saying this,
PC, if
they're
you
offended
use
by
the
my
left, if you use the left click button to offer a peace offering, you're hitting them with that peace offering. So they're gonna see that as an aggressive act, and they're gonna come at you. The right click, the right click of the
That's what
mouse is what you use to give
do.
things to a
Yeah.
mob.
So
That's what I try to do with them, but they're
You-
offended by my offers.
here's what I do with Iron Golems, Nick. When I summon them, I leave them there to take care of any monsters that are around.
And you never bother with them.
Other than that, leave them alone.
The same thing with bees.
Yeah.
I try to be with peace with them, but they're just so mean.
No, there is no peace offering with them.
Would you
just
go? Would
leave
you
them
do that
alone.
with? Would you do that with African bees?
Oh God!
Yeah, I mean, come on.
Peace! Oh,
Anyway.
So that's going to be it for this edition of the Fear Fans podcast. And I'm deciding. I believe I've made a decision as to what we're covering on next week. I want to. With the announcement of Scream 7 coming out, I figured it'd be a good idea to continue covering the rest of the Scream movies. And so, Scream 2022 next week. That's what I'm thinking.
And I got a special drawing I'd like to show that's based on Scream, but I'll wait till next week to show it. You guys saw it earlier, but I just got it in the mail. But
You
I'll wait
did.
till next week.
It's cool.
Yeah, you won't be. If you haven't seen it, Don, you won't be disappointed.
Oh, that's awesome, Braxton. Yeah, I love the show too. It's great. Yeah. Oh yeah. You take care too, Thomas. So that is it for the Fear Fans podcast. I loved covering. I had so much fun covering this movie and with you guys. Seriously, this has been great.
It was great. Really great
If I
fun.
can just say one thing. I also want to say one thing for those, because you said, Don, for those who haven't seen it. Well, for those who have seen it, all I got to say about that is clever girl.
Yeah. That's probably what you're thinking when all those bees sneak up on you.
And
yes.
don't forget the Iron Golems.
Yes, I got to cover that along with the teaser trailer for Megan 2.0. So
Yes.
looking forward to that.
Let's not forget too that, as a reminder, in April of later this year, which I'm sure we're probably going to, Don, I'm sure we're probably going to see a trailer of it, during the Super Bowl. In April later this year is season 2 of The Last of Us.
Yes, can't wait for that show.
Really looking
Wait a
forward
minute.
to what season 2 is going to be. I know it's going to be a little bit shorter compared to the first season. I think there's only going to be like 7 or 8 episodes this year.
Yeah,
So it is going to be a little bit shorter, but it's still, either way, it should still be good.
Did
Yeah.
we ever do April Fool's Day?
I don't think
I
so.
don't think so.
Oh, wait,
Oh my
wait.
God, that's a
Yes, we did.
great
Wait,
movie.
yes, we did. We did. You were there.
Oh, wait. Yeah,
was
we
I?
did.
Was it? Okay.
We did.
I think you were there for that.
Okay.
You were. I remember.
That's a great movie, man.
Yeah, and hey, Braxton, I gotta say, like, I'm definitely interested in Final Destination because I've always loved the franchise, and I believe this is one of the final performances of Tony Todd as Bloodworth. So,
Oh, he's going to be in it?
yeah, I believe so. And man, it's just I still have a hard time believing he's dead.
I still can't believe he's gone. And you know what? I'm actually going to do this too. Like, again, with those drawings that I got earlier today, I said this before. Those aren't the only drawings of those classic slasher killers that they did. They did one also for Candyman. So therefore, I'm not sure exactly when, but when I have the opportunity sometime in the next couple of weeks, I'm going to purchase that drawing as well. That's my way of honoring Tony Todd.
Good on you.
He was the best Candyman.
He
He
was.
is Candyman. He is Candyman.
Yeah, he pretty much is Candyman. when
That,
you really
that one that they made without him, that sucked.
I still can't believe he's gone.
Yeah, it's too bad. He was a great actor.
I was expecting for him to at least live up to his 80s or so. I didn't think he was going to die so soon.
No one did.
He's also around. He's pretty much around my mom's age, so I didn't even think. I thought he was going to still live for quite a couple more years.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't want to say what sickness he died from.
Yeah, I guess that might be just something that probably only the family knows about.
I'm sure. Yeah. Well,
I say
Definitely.
his name in the mirror 3 times and it'll appear behind you.
No, it's 5 times.
5
Or
times.
whatever, the whatever it is, but it's like,
Yep,
you don't think
1990, I
Candyman
will be dead.
Yes, Braxton. I was just about to bring this up. I'm gonna sometime later this month. We are definitely gonna be covering that remake of Night of the Living Dead to honor Tony Todd.
Oh, Lean on Me. That was a good movie too.
Oh yeah.
That was actually based on a true story.
Let's not forget too. He was not a horror movie, but he was also on what was that movie? In fact,
They used to call me Crazy Joe.
Oh, he was in,
now
he was
they
in
call me
the,
Batman.
I was gonna say let's not forget he was also in The Rock, who also had Nicolas Cage in it. Kate's favorite actor,
no.
And The Crow.
The Crow. Yeah,
He's also
and
in The Crow.
for a brief period, as Nicolas Cage had said to Tony Todd, if you like the Elton John song Rocket Man, because it's him. He's the Rocket Man.
That was so cheesy.
Yeah.
Every time when he gets shot by that rocket, I think, you know what? He's not yelling because he's falling. No, he's only yelling out no because he's trying to say, no, I'm Candyman.
He's not Rocket Man. He's Candyman.
Yeah, I mean, he is. So I can see why he's yelling out, no!
Yeah. So, yeah, next week we are going to be covering Scream 2022. Can't wait. Yeah, because I've wanted us to cover this one for a while because this whole this whole revival of the Scream franchise as like a requel. It feels like a remake and a sequel. That too, and also Melissa Barrera and Jenna Ortega. Do I need to say more? They're both awesome in it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, she's
Cool.
supposed to be in this new one.
What?
Jenna Ortega's supposed to be in this new one, or
I don't think so. She said scheduling conflicts because she's been filming season 2 of Wednesday.
okay,
Yeah,
which makes a lot of sense.
yeah. All right, so that'll be it for this edition of the FearFans podcast. We'll be seeing you guys next week, and